Over the years, we've been treated to some amazing exhibition events in sports. Some become iconic, but many fail to live up to the hype. So what are some of the most anticlimactic exhibitions? Technically, it wasn't an exhibition because it ended up being sanctioned as a pro fight, but it basically was. 2024 saw Mike Tyson return to the ring to fight YouTuber Jake Paul. The event, which Paul won, was streamed by 65 million people on Netflix, making it the most streamed sporting event ever at the time. But many complained of buffering and freezing. And as for the fight itself, well, it was considered an entertaining disaster. I mean, it wasn't prime Tyson. He was 58. And after the fight, Paul, who was 27 at the time, said he'd actually gone easy on Tyson towards the end. Now, Mayweather-McGregor in 2017 was a better watch, despite Mayweather going rope-a-dope early on, but it was way too expensive. Pay-per-view was 75 quid, and in the stadium, the cheapest ticket was over 370. Now, this next one you could have watched for free, only because the pay-per-view had streaming issues, so they had to open it out. I'm talking about Tiger versus Phil in 2018, which was nicknamed The Match. Massive names and massive rivals going head-to-head. On paper, it worked. In reality, it didn't. The two players were mic'd up, so we all thought we'll get fascinating insight. We'll be able to hear them insult each other for 18 holes. But what we actually got was more heavy breathing and sniffles. And for two GOATs, the golf itself was bang average. And speaking of GOATs, let's end with Messi and Ronaldo. In 2023, an exhibition between PSG and the Riyadh All-Star 11 saw them share a pitch for possibly the final time. To be fair, it was a goal fest, which PSG won 5-4, and Messi and Ronaldo both scored. But it was obvious they were past their prime. El Clasico, this was not. And with it being in Saudi, there were more sports washing claims. So there you have it. Exhibitions that have let us down. And I didn't even have time to mention the Community Shield.
Welcome to it. It is Saturday night on the radio. It is fight night right here on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. Gareth Davies is alongside me. We've got an action-packed show lined up for you. The guest list is absolutely ram-jam full. In the studio, Jimmy Sains is going to be with us, a man that has been dubbed by Eddie Hearn as the Bermondsey Baturbia. That's a big, big statement to make, but he's going to be in the studio for around about half an hour. Tell us all about himself and what is to come throughout the course of 2026. We're going to be speaking to Bilal Fawaz, who's got a hell of a fight on his hands with Ishmael Davis coming up. Ed Pereira's going to be here, the man from IVB, who has made some big announcements this week regarding wanting to put 150,000 people in one place to watch boxing at the same time. That would set a new world record, which currently stands at 135,000. We'll talk to him a little bit later on in the show. And a man that has suffered a bit of disappointment this week, but I've no doubt the Stoke Army will be prepared to wait for a couple of months before he's back in the ring. Nathan Heene is also going to be on the show. Lots to talk about, especially in the heavyweight division. And Zuffa Boxing gets going next week. They've made a big signing, Jai Opataya. Ground-shaking move from Dana White. If you want to get involved with the show, you can do. 03717 22 33 44. This is Fight Night on talkSPORT. Now then, fresh from his winter break, catching a little bit of sunshine and getting that golden tan, Mr. Gareth Davies, welcome back to the studio. How are you?
I'm good. I think I remember saying goodbye to you in mid-December.
About 2 months ago. Yeah.
About 2 months ago, disappearing to Miami a couple of times and then to the Far East. But over this period, it's been extraordinarily busy. I can't ever remember. Like I said, I've had a bit of a winter break. Still been keeping my eye on things and working. But honestly, genuinely, Adam, I cannot remember in my lifetime in boxing in all that time, 35 years, ever knowing a January quite like this, and then into February. It's extraordinary. There is so much going on, and it's going to be great to discuss it all tonight.
Yeah, January really has hit the ground running. Of course, we've already experienced Dalton Smith becoming a world champion, of which we're going to talk about a little bit later on in the programme. He was with talkSPORT this week. It's a little bit disappointing, of course, with the Moses card on the 24th falling off. But listen, let's not detract away from it, because on the 31st, we've got a hell of a night of boxing where Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson are going to be fighting each other. Josh Kelly's going for world title honours, and Adam Azim is also back in action as well. And that is just boxing. Of course, we cover MMA, we cover bare knuckle, we cover the whole damn shebang on this particular show, and January is ram jam full. We haven't even got to February yet, and Nick Paul kicking off the month in style, all of which, by the way, is going to be on talkSPORT for you. We're going to be giving you a little bit of news regarding some exclusive commentaries that we've got coming up as well on the station.
Yeah, that January the 31st is quite extraordinary. I've opted to go to bare knuckle boxing BKB.
You're going to need 4 screens, mate. You're going to need 4 screens.
Four screens. Yeah. There's 4 world title fights that night on that card. That's in Miami. If I wasn't there, I think I'd be at Shakur Stevenson and Teo Lopez. I mean, what a massive super fight in the first, month of the year. It's just extraordinary. That is the fight that prizes open a new era in the sport in America, in my view.
Yeah, Teofimo Lopez with the opportunity to cement some legacy, as has Shakur Stevenson, up in weight and doing his thing on the 31st of January. We're going to start by talking about Zuffa Boxing. This is the new project for Dana White in the world of boxing. They get underway next Friday night. Callum Walsh taking on Carlos Ocampo. That is their main event. They've announced a little bit of an undercard there as well. It's all taking place at the Apex, the new Meta Apex in Las Vegas. There'll be a limited crowd on show there. It's all to coincide with the launch of the new UFC project with the Paramount Plus over in the United States of America. This is going to be on next Friday night. Before we talk about their upcoming schedule, which they've announced loosely over the next few weeks or so, the big news from Zuffa Boxing is that they have managed to acquire a world champion that is on most people's pound-for-pound lists at the moment. He's the number 1 cruiserweight in the world, the lineal, ring and IBF world cruiserweight champion in Jai Opetaia. Of course, Jai has his own promotional company that he works with Mick Francis in the Australasian part of the world with Tasman Promotions. Recently, he's been working with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn. But over the last 24 hours, it has been announced and confirmed by Zuffa and by Jai Opetaia on his own social medias that going forward, he will be working with Zuffa Boxing. What did you make of that announcement?
Yeah, it's a massive poaching moment, isn't it? And I think we're going to see many more of them. This is Dana White, Zuffa Boxing, TKO, Turki Al-Sheikh, all deciding that we're going to show you what we're capable of. You're quite right to say they've taken the number 1 cruiserweight in the world who's capable of being a heavyweight. He's going to be a linchpin in their stable. Might be unpopular over here. I'm not sure whether positional management of his career at the moment. So as you say, Mick Francis, I did reach out to him. I think it was 5:30 a.m. When I was on my way in, and Mick had what do they put? Disappearing messages have turned off overnight in Australia. Don't know where he stands at the moment with Spencer Brown, who was part management with him as well. But as Mick Francis says, of CEO of Tasman Fighters, Jai belongs on the biggest stages against the biggest names. This partnership puts him exactly there. And as Jai is saying, I'm pumped for what's next. I want these big fights. I'm ready to prove myself on the world stage. The fight's not announced yet when he will begin, but this is the beginning of a takeover of sorts by TKO. And they will be impressive. They are starting, as you say, in the Meta Apex.
Yep.
With 150 people in there, or whatever it'll be. Turki Al-Sheikh and his legion of followers that go everywhere with him. I'm sure he'll have those in there. There'll be invited guests. I'm sure there'll be a few celebs in there. It'll be a great occasion. They will be a very powerful force in boxing. There is no question about that. Very deep pockets from both of them. A deep understanding from Dana what boxing's all about. And I've been quite enjoying the Eddie Hearn calling out of Dana White that Dana seems quite befuddled by at the moment and quite surprised. I don't know whether it's a smart move from Eddie. It may be a foolish move because I think they will be working with certain people. The big question is, does that IBF belt matter anymore to Jayapataya when he fights on their card? Presumably he relinquishes it.
The reason why Gareth has brought that up, and let me just give you a little bit of a background on this. There's a lot of questions, and luckily enough, I'm going to be in Las Vegas next week, so hopefully I'll get an opportunity to sit with Dana White and ask him some of these questions. The one thing that we can absolutely be certain about is that Zuffa Boxing, as it stands right now, even before they have done a show in the world of boxing, they have the biggest television deal with Paramount Plus. The majority of boxing that is shown in the United States is currently taking place on DAZN. Golden Boy Promotions don't have a deal at the moment. They're still negotiating whether they're going to be going back with DAZN. Top Rank don't have a television deal. PBC have got a loose thing with Amazon. Boxing, as we've explained on this show on many occasions over the last 12 months, in the United States of America, the audiences are massively disengaged. So Paramount Plus, which is very similar to, let's say, a Sky Sports here in the UK, that is where Zuffa Boxing are going to be housing not only their boxing, but also their UFC product and various other products that they bring. So from a Jayapataya point of view, he's going to have a lot of eyeballs on him when he does compete. The big thing, you just highlighted it there. Dana White is on record saying that he is not going to recognise the alphabet sanctioning bodies as part of this project going forward. So that means the WBO, WBA, WBC and IBF, they are not going to be part of his plans. They have highlighted the Ring Magazine belt, which is a Turkey Al
As one would.
Belt, okay. And they've also highlighted the fact that they will be integrating their own Zuffa belt for whatever that is worth. Now, that's the key point, I think, in this discussion, because when I was thinking about the Zuffa project, I was always thinking that it's going to be at a very low level, guys that are maybe not getting opportunities that they can bring together for 50-50 fights, and they can build some new momentum, a different proposition away from the big shows. Signing Jayapataya is absolutely gigantic, because what is Jayapataya now going to do, as you've rightfully said? If the president of this company is saying we're not recognising the sanctioning body belts, what happens to his IBF belt now?
He will relinquish it. There's no question about that, because it has no resonance in what they're about to do. I mean, notwithstanding, my belief was they didn't need a Zuffa TKO belt. They could have just gone with the Ring Magazine belt. I'm on the Ring Magazine committee. It's a non-sanctioned, non-payable governing body of the belt, if you like. And it's voted on by a group of journalists, 35 journalists from around the world.
Massive heritage.
And there's massive heritage going back over 100 years. Yeah. So what's fascinating here is twofold for me, really. How the TKO belt resonates, the Zuffa belt resonates, how it grows, but also this other sideline to it, which is the new Paramount Plus deal, which is no pay-per-view, it's subscription-based.
Correct.
Now, the UFC, for many years, were the kings of pay-per-view, weren't they?
Yep.
Apart from the odd spike when there was a massive boxing event around Floyd Mayweather, around Manny Pacquiao, around, I don't know, Joe Calzaghe, Ricky Hatton, people that were Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, Canelo, that had a popular front so that people came to them. I don't think the pay-per-view model is dead. I think it's there for very big fights. Now, if you can get Ryan Garcia against Conor Benn, I think that's a pay-per-view event still. People will pay when they're excited about something. People will pay when there's a lot of fire under an event. I don't think it's dead, but I think this paradigm shift, this experiment is fascinating for the sport, because it brings that whole Netflix aspect in. It brings that whole, you mentioned Amazon. I think they will be competing with Paramount as well, with these big streaming apps to bring people on board. For example, when we just had, bless his heart, Anthony Joshua against Jake Paul, the new subscribers to Netflix, were they, let's say, 2 million, who paid a tenner to become subscribers, only brought them in a couple of 100 million. So only, I say, it's not about the money, it's about the money. So the streaming services Paramount has a huge reach, doesn't it? And it has multiple layers. So it's fascinating where we're going with this right now. And I think the fact that that Dana White and the UFC have always shifted the paradigm, they've always moved things on. It's an $7 billion deal over 5 years, isn't it? Over 5 years. So they've got the funds. They've got Turkey Al-Sheikh to be able to buy in the Jayapatayas, to buy in any unhappy boxer. They can buy people out of contracts if they have to. That's why I think people should try and work with them rather than against them.
Yeah, but they're not going to do that. Dana White does not want to do that. Look at the way that he's worked, obviously, as the UFC president. They didn't team up with anybody. When they got to a particular point in the business structure, they bought people out. That's what they did. They bought people's rosters and schedules and grew the UFC that way.
They bought entire organisations. They bought
they bought WEC.
WEC, the World Extreme Cage Fighting Championships. They bought Bellator. They bought out the competitors, which is again a novel thing. It's a paradigm shift to become not a monopoly, but almost a single unitary powerful force.
Listen, if anybody thinks that they're not going to try and attempt to do that in the world of boxing, I think that you've got to be a little bit...
It's more complex to do that than with MMA.
Because,
and I think it's going to be difficult
massively, because obviously there's conversations then in and around the Muhammad Ali Act over in the United States of America that kind of prohibits this thing, but there is reform legislation in place at the moment which is currently going through Congress. It's a federal law. Now, this is the thing that I'm amazed by is it would be wonderful to be able to get hold of Jayapataya or maybe some of his team members to try and ask questions on this particular thing, because why have they made the decision at this stage to team with Dana White and Zuffa Boxing? They must have been told something. They must see something that maybe isn't out in the public domain.
They're going to make him a fulcrum.
Yeah, but
they're
maybe
they're going to make him a big
but think
figure.
about this, right? Boxing, at this moment in time, there are still a lot of boxers out there that are obsessed with the alphabet belts, right? They fight for the IBF belt. They fight for the WBC belt. They still have goals and ambitions of trying to achieve those belts, right? Now, if Jayapataya is going down the line of I'm going to be a Zuffa fighter, Zuffa aren't going to recognise any of those things. I'm just going to be the number one, the lineal, the Ring Magazine champion. Now, for us as boxing aficionados and the majority of people that listen to this show that know what they're talking about, they'll go, well, Jayapataya is the number one guy. But how are you going to get people to fight him over there if they're connected to all these different sanctioning bodies? How are they going to get people over? Because Jayapataya in his own social media post today said, let's get the big fights over the line, unifications, undisputed. Well, that can't happen. Okay,
well, look, Gilberto Ramirez, the Golden Southpaw, should he beat David Benavidez and Cinco de Mayo, he's already got two of the belts, hasn't he? The WBA and the WBO. But money speaks in boxing,
of course.
So if they want to relinquish the belts and go and have a big fight with Jayapataya, if he wants to do that and have a fight with Jayapataya, if Chris Billam-Smith wants to go over there and have a fight with Jayapataya, if Brandon Glanton, Ilunga Makabu, Mateusz Masternak, any of these guys, they can build him as one of their stars. He's got everything. He's an absolute monster as a fighter. Yeah. He's a southpaw. He creates angles. He knocks people out. Everybody that talks about him, everyone that's been in a ring with him, everyone that's sat with him like we have, he has got something special. He has got the beast in him. And he's also got an Australian audience that they can leverage as well. And I was with the very first UFC events that went to Australia. 127 maybe. Spitgate, Michael Bisping, Jorge Rivera. Spitgate it was called at the time, when Michael apparently spat at him at the end of the... he won't thank me for that. But they leveraged... Australia is an MMA country now, isn't it? Not a boxing country. Massive audiences, 50,000. Was Holly Holm and Ronda Rousey there?
Yeah.
That took place there, 55,000. He's got things that they can project. So he's got all the qualities. He came in here and the F-bomb went out 60 times, I think, on the Jim White and Simon Jordan show, and they had to get him off the show in the end. He's got everything. He's got a great entourage, great people around him, and they can move him to heavyweight as well. I like the moves. They've got Charles Martin and Efe Ajagba on an event coming up soon. Put him in against the winner of that heavyweight. You know, he's a great signing for them.
Oh, listen, it's absolutely seismic. Do not underestimate how big that is with Jai Opetaia signing for Zuffa this week. It's going to be really, really interesting to see now how this story starts to develop and how this new promotion in the world of boxing starts to move over the next 6 months, because it's starting to move quick. We're going to continue this conversation next. Don't go anywhere.
For Super Bowl 60 on talkSPORT.
As well as fight night tonight, there's a big game going on in those playoffs in the NFL. Buffalo Bills about to take on the Denver Broncos.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you go.
You got to sprinkle it in.
It's your NFL team.
Yeah.
You know who mine is?
Go on.
You know.
Go on.
Dan Marino.
Are you a 49er? Oh, yeah? I'll see.
I'm either that or I'm a Miami Dolphin.
You can... Right, stop.
You're not allowed two teams.
No,
Spencer Oliver said he was Spurs and Tottenham. Do you remember?
You can't.
He was Spurs and Arsenal. You can't have two teams.
Yeah.
I'm a San Francisco 49er.
Okay. Super Bowl's coming up. It's on February the 8th. We're giving you the opportunity to go and experience this live. 3 nights in San Francisco with spending money. Flights all sorted as well. You could be soaking up the Super Bowl and exploring the Bay Area. It does sound incredibly good. All you got to do is text the word WIN to 83338. It'll cost you £2.50 plus your standard network rate. You can call 0343 418 7260. Lines will close this Thursday at 4 o'clock. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it does ring. You've got to be over 18, UK residents only. It's a network promotion. Terms and conditions do apply. Talksport.com for more information on that. For your chance to win, text WIN to 83338. Do it now. Good luck. And if you do win, I will come with you if you need someone to jump on the plane with you. All right. Now then, just to continue on the Zuffa thing, because obviously the big news is that Zuffa Boxing, Dana White, have signed Jayo Pataya. They get their show on the road this Friday night. I'm going to be over in Las Vegas to have a little bit of a look around it. Yes, it's taking place at the Apex, which is a smaller venue than what maybe most people are used to, but I'm looking forward to some of the contests that they've put on there. Yeah, okay, the names aren't necessarily absolutely gigantic, but they are very, very competitive. Callum Walsh versus Carlos Ocampo. People will be familiar with those names. He's moved up to middleweight. It's going to be interesting to see how Callum Walsh gets on with the extra £6 on, but I'm looking forward to that. What have you made, actually, of... they've announced 3 cards. I mean, 3 dates, should I say. They've given us Callum Walsh and Carlos Ocampo. We're still waiting for information on the week after, and then it will be February 14th for Effie Ajagba against Charles Martin as a main event there.
Well, I quite like Ajagba is, again, to mentioning the sanctioning bodies. I mean, I think he's ranked in the top 15 with 3 or 4 of them. Very decent fighter. He was being linked with the Moses Itauma fight at one point, I think, a few months back.
With a few is
Anthony Joshua.
He had the draw with Bacoli, was it?
It was. He's a big, powerful fighter. Yeah. He's got a lot going for him. He's a worthy top 15. He's definitely a top 20 world fighter. Charles Martin I ran into at the Crawford-Canelo fight last September. Around his team, Frank Sanchez there as well. They've all been working together. Great opportunity for Charles Martin. Obviously, he's seen as the guy that was smashed up by Anthony Joshua to win the IBF title all those years ago. But he's kind of come back a little bit, Charles, and he's always great to speak to. King Charles Martin, of course. Yeah, I think that's great. Jury's still out on Callum Walsh on how good he's going to be.
Of course.
I'm glad he's going up to... He was at light middle before.
154, he's up at 160.
Yeah, he looked too gaunt at 154, and I think he struggled at times. And there's a lot of pressure on him. He's Dana White's boy, isn't he, in boxing? So, he's gone from kind of cradle to manhood under the Zuffa banner, if you like. So, Listen, I'm not someone who sits and criticises cards. I'm not someone that sits and criticises the number of people in an arena. It's not my bag. It is what it is. But what I was fascinated to talk to you about, and we'll talk about San Francisco later on the I Visit Boxing thing, because I spent a lot of time around there, is that I wonder how many UFC fighters who have got great boxing skills, like the Spaniard stroke Georgian stroke
Ilia
Topuria, probably the best boxer in the UFC right now, whether they might do a crossover fight, whether they might get involved in Zuffa boxing as well as the UFC.
I hope not.
Why not?
Because they're 2 different sports. We have elite mixed martial artists, keep them in mixed martial arts. I think there's room here for some elite boxers to really get an opportunity.
You don't like the crossover then, no?
No. But they've been done. We had a lot of fun with Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, and since then I'm like, I know that we had the situation with Francis Ngannou coming into the world of boxing. I thought it was a bit of a circus, a bit of a no need for it. There were other fights that I would have much preferred to have watched. And I hope, listen, there's going to be people whose eyes will light up and they'll think to themselves, there's an opportunity here because there's more work and more opportunity. But for me, no, I think there's really good martial artists that could get real good opportunity within the UFC. Some great matchups that absolutely should be getting made there. Legacy-defining stuff. And I think that's exactly the same case in boxing.
But eyeballs, my friend.
Yeah, of course.
Topuria is a great master of selling his fights. I think he's a brilliant...
Who does he box against then?
So what's he going to be? He's going to be a welterweight, isn't he?
Well, he's currently 155. He's the lightweight champion.
Yeah. So he's going to be boxing at light middle. So let's have a look. like a Conor Benn.
Stop it, man.
Conor Benn.
Stop it.
Who wins that in a boxing match?
No comment.
No, what do you mean no? No, you can't say no comment.
Boxers will always, but in a boxing match, a boxer will always beat a person. MMA striking is MMA striking. It's not boxing, is it? Come on. Is it?
I'm being the advocate of the devil to you.
Yes, I know you are. I know you're winding me up is what you're...
But what I do think is that it will have crossed... Even though Dana's a purist MMA, he's a purist boxing guy, he did get involved in that Conor McGregor-Mayweather
yes, he did.
event.
Well, Conor McGregor he's a unicorn. There's nothing like Conor McGregor in the UFC as it stands right now.
Yeah. No, I don't think there's ever been anything like him in any combat sport until, well, unless you go back to Muhammad Ali, I think. Unless you go that kind of character.
Yes, of course.
Who lights up the world.
Of course. Just on these cards, and we've got lots to get through this evening. We've got a guest coming in the studio in a moment in Jimmy Sains. I completely understand audience pushback on this. Listen, I think a lot of it's been driven by maybe other promoters making comment on the launch of Zuffa Boxing. I get that maybe people are a little underwhelmed with it. I think you've got to come at this from a completely different angle. At this moment in time, this is not a Matchroom card. This is not a Queensberry card. This is not what we've been used to here in the United Kingdom. What I do think it is, I think it's a real opportunity for Zuffa Boxing to lay their ground down. This is what we're going to do. We are going to create competitive 50-50 matchups. The card's not going to be deep. We're not talking 12, 15 fights in a night. I think they've only got 3 or 4 on the night. A lot of them.
I ascribe to that.
A lot of them are going to be earlier on in the evening. I got sent my schedule yesterday. This is all done by 9 p.m. local Vegas time, so it's all done and dusted. I just think that this is an opportunity to start afresh, start something new. And as I keep banging the drum about, do not underestimate the power that they have with this Paramount television channel. They can create what the boxing narrative is in the United States. Not many people are engaged with boxing. We know that there's you've just mentioned a great fight coming up on the 31st between Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. Half of America do not know about that. In fact, more than half of America don't know about it. But they'll know about Callum Walsh next week because it'll be rammed down the throats on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, and it doesn't compare, does it? Really?
Absolutely.
What I do think is this, and it's come to me as we've been talking, maybe intuitively or maybe even counterintuitively, if you put on events where the fighters aren't that well known, but they're 50-50 fights, and they entertain, you're also saying to the rest of the boxing world, and I read that Tom Loeffler's 360 Promotions are involved with them in some way as well. And Tom, of course, he looks after Callum. He looks after Callum, but he also, I want to say, obviously was Gennady Golovkin years ago. And he's a great guy, Tom. That intuitively or counterintuitively, by showing these 4 or 5 fights that are entertaining, that aren't big names, it's saying to everyone else in the boxing world who are big names, who are out there, come to us. Because we need to fill our cards. I just think there's a play there as well. This is the start of something very, very fresh. Keep an eye on it. We're going to keep an eye on it. We'll be there next week, getting you right across it. And I'll report back once I'm back from Las Vegas next week as Zuffa get underway. We're concentrating on UK soil now. Jimmy Sains is going to be in the studio with us next. Don't be going anywhere.
International Champion and the GB Elite 3 Nations Champion, Jimmy Sains.
Impressive work from Sains here, varying the trajectory, body to head and then back again.
Jimmy's looked good. He's strong, he's aggressive, has a lovely jab, and has that fire in his eye.
Right, you listen to Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. Gareth Davies is alongside me. Action-packed show tonight. We are going to talk a little bit about heavyweights a little later on in the programme. Nathan Heene is going to be with us as well. So if you want to join us for that, you're more than welcome to do so. 03717 223344. But for the next half an hour, we've got a young man that's joining us in the studio who has captured the imagination of a lot of fight fans, mainly because he's got dynamite in his fist and he keeps putting people over, which is obviously incredibly entertaining. And he's been dubbed by his promoter, check this out, as the Brentwood Baturbiev.
Yeah.
Jimmy Sains, welcome, mate. How are you, pal? You good?
I'm all good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Listen, talk about a nickname, mate. There's no pressure there, is there, pal? He's gone straight in there, is Eddie? Let's get straight in with a big nickname.
I know, it's a bit of a big nickname to live up to, ain't it, really? But, I mean, I started off all right. I got 9-0, 9 KOs.
Yeah.
Went distance once against a tough opponent. But, yeah, I mean, I think that's a good nickname for people to be associate me with fighters like Baturbiev. Yeah, it's unbelievable.
It's a headline grabber. I like it, mate. Listen, we're going to talk about the professional element of this. Obviously, you're doing extremely well in the middleweight division. Last year, area title, Southern area title, obviously picked that up, then picked up the English title as well. Fantastic year. We'll celebrate that in the second half of this conversation. We want to know a little bit more about you, though, pal, right?
Yep.
25 years of age now, yeah?
Yep.
Right. When did all this start? When did you first walk into a boxing gym? When did you first put on some gloves? When did you first get cracking with it?
Yeah. Well, I first started getting involved in boxing when I was around the age of 5. My dad was going to the gym. It was more of a weights gym in Raynham, the Origin gym. It just had a ring upstairs and boxing bags, nothing really too fancy. And he took me along with him. He was training, and I ended up just doing a little bit of boxing while I was there. And then they said, one of the coaches there said, we do classes for young kids. So I ended up doing the classes around the age of 5, and I remember actually the first time I ever first class, I don't know how I've still got it in there. I've took a lot of punches.
Love this.
I've took a lot of punches. I don't know how I'm still in there, but the first ever sort of boxing memory I have, he said, right, everyone warm up in the class. I got in front of the mirror and I threw both hands at the same time. And he went, no, mate. You got to shake. And he sort of showed me how to shape up and then throw him in the jab, the backhand. So that's my first ever boxing memory.
Is that like you knocking everybody out? 2 hands at the same time?
Yeah.
Can we see the double punch?
Yeah. I might bring it out the next fight, maybe.
It's illegal, actually, isn't it?
It is.
I remember Manny Pacquiao doing it to Joshua Clottey in Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Yeah. So that's what I did. I threw both punches at the same time. So, that was that's always stands. That's my first boxing memory, I'd say.
So people talk about a love and addiction from the adrenaline and from the sweat and the smell of the gym. Do you remember that from 5 on? Did you love it straight away or not?
Yeah, always loved it straight away. I think from the age of 5, I can't remember a time when I haven't really been involved in boxing or just, I mean, obviously in the amateurs, they have a bit of a break in the summer where I'd go away. But as soon as I got back from holiday, I was training straight away over the summer. I was speaking to Gary Logan the other day about Repton and
the lovely Gary Logan,
yeah, lovely Gary Logan,
yeah,
unbelievable amateur fighter, at a famous Repton, and we was talking about it's just a bit weird, but the smell of the gym and just the atmosphere when you walk in Repton, you just get a buzz. And it brings back so much memories of just.
Can I ask you? So you started at 5,
yeah.
Just talk us through the next few years because you'll have had to wait before. You'd have been itching for a spar, a bout to get going. So talk us through 5 to 9 or 10.
Yeah, so I started at 5, probably just once a week, nothing too serious, like kids class, like keep fit thing. And then probably around the age of 6, I started at Brentwood Boxing Club, which is my local boxing club. I started there, absolutely love it. Started sparring with a boy called Simon Boyle, same age as me. And believe it or not, I was a little chubby kid, to be honest. Well, don't believe it, I look still chubby now, but I was quite little, small and chubby.
You don't look chubby at all.
Not at all.
Not the slightest.
We was both 2 little chubby kids sparring all the time. But we brought each other on loads, me and him. We were sparring all the time.
So You didn't have any brothers at home to spar?
I did have a little brother, yeah, Bobby. I used to spar him. I used to take liberties on him, to be honest.
On the sofa.
Yeah. He's 6 or 7 years. Yeah. He's a little bit younger, so I used to bash him up a little bit. Bit of practice. But yeah, so I was at Bromma Boxing Club, and back then they used to have like gym bouts.
Yeah.
So basically sparring, pretty much. But I don't think they're allowed to have them anymore. But I probably had around 50 of them up and down the country.
So what age were you when you first started? About 7 or 8 were you then when you were doing those?
Gym bouts probably from the age 7 or 8 up
amazing.
to around 10.
Like a traveller almost.
Yeah.
Did you go down to some of the sites?
Yeah, a lot of the traveller boys. I mean, amateur boxing at that age, without travellers, it don't exist. I don't think.
Yeah, that's so true.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah.
They love their boxing, don't they? They're training from a very young age. That's why they're so good.
Sport,
yeah. But yeah, a lot of gym bouts, and I started. I think 10 years of age, you can have your first skills bout, which is when you have a proper fight without a winner or loser. I think I had 4 or 5 of them, and then I think 2 days after my 11th birthday, I had my first amateur fight. Against a boy called Dean Dynamite Pepper was his name.
What a nickname! What a nickname!
I've got good nickname. I have a good memory when it comes to important stuff, but other stuff I couldn't
that's good. Let that go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Can I ask as well? It's fascinating. So were you already? Was it just something you loved doing? Was it because it's the toughest sport on earth?
Yeah.
You know, combat sports are the toughest sports on earth. It's a soul sport. It's a lonely sport. They talk about the lonely walk to the ring. Were you already talking about, I'm going to be a pro, when you were like a tiny kid as well? Was it fun and a hobby at that point?
Yeah, not really. It was more of just something that I enjoyed doing. It weren't like I'm in this to be world champion or to this is what I want to do. That come a little bit older. The time... Skipping a little bit here, but the time when I was around 13, 14...
We can stay for an hour if you want.
Yeah.
We can do the live
cancel everything else, yeah. No, I stayed probably around the age of 13, 14. I played football as well.
Oh, okay. Talented?
Time. I was okay. I played district level.
Engine, midfield?
Yeah, I weren't no good on the ball. I just used to slide tackle them, give them a little barge, and then
never
pass
stop
it.
running.
Yeah. I was obviously fit because of the boxing.
Yeah.
I was I was a good runner, good engine. That was it. I wasn't really skillful or anything. But I actually went in for a slide tackle. I broke my wrist playing football, and I had a boxing fight scheduled for around three weeks after that. And my dad went, "Well, you get into an age now. If you want to do boxing."
But I went in and fought one-handed.
Yeah, well, I would have liked to, but yeah, it wasn't that good.
So he made you make a choice.
He made it. I think I was around age 13, 14. He said, "If you want to do something, you got to do it properly. You can't really mess around doing both." And I think from that age, then it was when I want to be a boxer. When I leave school, and nothing really else mattered to me, to be honest.
Okay.
No school work or anything else.
What did you learn about yourself from a young age that you can... There'd be thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people listening right now thinking, oh, that's fascinating. I wonder what he was learning about himself at that age that he carries with him now.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone should do boxing from a young age, really. Just because...
You never had a street fight, I bet. You didn't need to.
I've had 1 or 2, but nothing... To be honest, when I'm out in public, I don't really like confrontation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But because I've had it, I've done it, maybe I can have a fight. I know that for myself. Some people have got to prove to other people they can fight.
Correct.
But
that's the answer I was hoping for.
Yeah. I mean, there's not really, unless I've had to. I've had a couple of fights, but nothing serious or too bad. I've never really drunk or been drunk, no drunken fights or anything. So, quite professional, like to say. But what was I saying about?
Just the memories of getting involved. You talked about the football and getting to 13, 14 and taking it more seriously. And here you are, but you're taking it so seriously that you're not rushing yourself either. That's what I really like about it. I know we're going to talk about your pro career, but the amateurs, it took over your life, presumably.
Yeah, I mean, from a young age, I remember the schoolboys used to start in January, so all over was just talking about then Christmas time. I remember from a young age, Christmas morning, getting up, training, New Year's Eve.
Your call competitions, the Sheffield competitions.
Yeah, schoolboys. So I was making weight. Everyone's eating Christmas dinner. That's just in my memory. From a young age, that's why when I miss out on stuff now, it's just I'm so used to it. But it doesn't really bother me. People ask me now, don't you miss going out with your friends and stuff, or missing parties and meals? But I said, well, I'm so used to it. I don't really, not really too bothered. But yeah, it was going back to what that tells me about myself with the boxing. I think quite enjoyed that hard work of the boxing, the training hard and the improvement after every fight. If I lost, going back on the gym, working hard with the coaches down at Brentwood Boxing Club, and then coming back. But yes, was at Brentwood Boxing Club till around the age 12, 13. Got to a couple national finals, moved to Newham Boxing Club. As won my first national title under Joey Chapman. He's brought a lot of great amateur fighters through over the years. I was there for around 3 or 4 years, and then moved to the famous Repton when I was around 15. And Repton, I know they've had so many great fighters. I could sit here and talk all day about Repton. I absolutely love it. I still go down there now every now and then and pop my head in. Yeah, Dave Robertson's unbelievable character. The people down there are just unbelievable. I mean, it was so chaotic down there that it just worked. I don't know. Yeah, Bobby Beck was the main coach there when I first joined. He was, don't know how many national champions he's had. He's had hundreds, maybe in thousands. A lot of schoolboys all the way up to senior ABA titles he's had. Yeah, and he was... Well, I've had a lot of great trainers, but he was the one where sort of give me that belief where I could go and win national titles. And he sort of took me to that next level, I suppose, where I started getting a bit older, 15, 16, 17. Started making my own way to the gym without my dad taking me, being a bit more independent, and something that he sort of turned me, something, this is what I want to do. And he gave me that... sort of, I don't know, was it the
belief?
The belief, I suppose.
Education
yeah, because everyone, I was surrounded by so many great fighters, national champions. He sort of gave me the belief that I can be like them. So yeah.
Well, you are doing that now, mate. So we're going to talk about the professional switch next. Don't be going anywhere. You listen to Fight Night on talkSPORT. on Saturday evenings, mate. So if he's throwing his shapes around, that's what he's doing, mate. He's reliving his youth. Jimmy Sains in the studio with myself and Gareth Davies. This is Fight Night on talkSPORT. Just had a little bit of a look back at the journey into boxing with Jimmy there. Obviously going through the amateur pedigree and what have you, and then turning into the pro game. And right now, as it stands, we've had 11 pro fights, 10 knockouts. Question for you, right? As a kid growing up, you come through this, and obviously the amateur game and the professional game are two technically different sports. And I'm sure your style has adapted and changed over the years. What's the feeling like when you knock someone out for the first time?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very odd feeling to explain, but it's unbelievable. It's the best feeling ever, the best buzz ever when you connect with that punch, and then you sort of look, and no one's there, and then you look down on the floor. That's the.
How old were you when you delivered your first one? Can you remember?
5.5.
No, the first
Probably was.
Yeah, the first time I actually ever dropped someone in sparring was Repton Boxing Club.
Yeah.
I caught him, I think, with a right hand left hook. They went down, and Bobby Beck weren't looking, and they got back up, and then Bobby Beck went, and we were sort of stopping, see if he was all right. Bobby Beck, what are you doing? Stop fucking effing around. Carry on sparring, but he actually looked away, and he actually looked away. And
so he missed it?
So he missed it.
He missed your first drop?
He missed my first good shot.
Ridiculous, man.
So you're Southpaw, aren't you?
Orthodox.
You're Orthodox,
Yeah,
but are you converted or not?
No, Orthodox, yeah.
Okay, because I thought you were a left-hander. There's something about...
right,
You're right-handed, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, as Adam's saying there, we talked about Dalton Smith in the break, how we're going to talk about Dalton in detail later, all the way through youth, junior, schoolboy, junior ABAs, senior ABAs, English, European. Or are you going to go that route? Obviously, you're English middleweight champion at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you going to go that route yourself?
I hope so, yeah. I've always said to Tony, we've both said in the gym. Tony Sims, yeah.
The great Tony Sims.
Yeah, the great Tony Sims.
First mention of him tonight.
Yeah. We've always sort of had that plan for my career to do the traditional route. Sort of do what Darren Barker's done, because obviously he'd come out of Repton and trained with Tony all the way through his professional career. If I can do something similar to that, I'd be over the moon, to be honest.
Right then, got a question for you, my man, because like we said at the start, Southern Area title, English title. The next step would be British title. However, there is a blocker there because your mate's currently the British champion, obviously. George Liddard, who we're big fans of here on the show, had a fantastic display last year where he became British and Commonwealth champion. How does this now all work for you? Because your career, the next step would be a British title. I assume with him being a stablemate, working with the same lads and all that type of stuff, that might cause a little bit of a problem to be able to move into that direction. Where are you at with it all?
This is a question I get asked all the time, to be honest. I think George does as well. I mean, we're both on our own path at the minute. I don't want to rush anything. George don't want to rush anything. We're both taking our own journey. Tony's both our manager and our trainer, so he wouldn't make sense for him to. I mean, it's going to be a bit awkward in fight camp, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I don't know how is that going to work. And we're friends. Do you know what I mean?
Together many times.
Yeah. I mean, George doesn't want to be at British level forever. He wants to push on European title. I think that's the next step for him. And then moving obviously towards world titles. That's both our game, our aim in the sport, to win world titles and be the best. But something I want to win is the British title. I mean, George has got that currently. Maybe he has the fence and moves on. I don't know. Maybe I don't box for the British for a while. But we're both on a different path in our own career.
You spar though, don't you?
We do spar all the time. Our last fight camp, I think,
beat him up in sparring.
Well, we have good spars. We have really good spars. Sometimes he beats me up. Sometimes I might
he beat you up before his last fight when you were fighting as well. He
always beats me up. Yeah, he takes liberties on me. Joking.
Is he listening tonight or not?
Probably not. No,
okay.
I don't know. He might be.
Socialise as well, because
we're good friends.
I've been to a breakfast with you and Tony up in the city one day, and you're so close.
Yeah.
It's like your brothers almost. You know?
No, we are good friends, me and George. Yeah. I mean, the only way I can see it personally, if we fight each other, is if it's for the undisputed middleweight title. I mean, if that's the case.
You've said it now.
you fight anyone for
No,
that.
I think. Listen, I think, Jimmy, I think you've nailed that. I think that's the right attitude, and it's also the right answer. As it stands, right. The reason why I brought it up, I wasn't trying to matchmake at that particular time. What I was saying is, there's a roadblock towards your next scenario, which would be the British Championship. But ideally, what would happen is that Georgie's moved to European level or something like that along the same way. So therefore, he gets to move up and does his thing. That belt becomes relinquished. You might get to fight for a vacant title, and things get to move that way. Because the last thing you want is to be stalling whilst you've got this great momentum.
Of course,
there's a lot of people talking about it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people thinking to themselves, I want to go out and watch this kid fight because he's knocking people over and it's super entertaining. So if you can put proper trinkets, because you want to do it the proper way rather than these international belts that I'm not a massive fan of, but if you want to put proper trinkets attached to it, that then creates that buzz a little bit further, doesn't it? So if everybody can move at the same pace, that'll be absolutely fantastic.
That's the reason why maybe he's working at the moment, because Tony's manages us both. He can move us, George, one step at a time, and I'll follow. Maybe that's how it could work. But yeah, I mean,
the gym owns the belts then, man.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? He gets a European. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pass it straight down to me. He's already given me the Commonwealth silver, which he keeps mentioning, to be honest. So maybe British and Commonwealth next.
All right, 10 quick questions, okay? Because we got
10. You're taking liberties, mate.
Right,
go on.
Well, it's 10 o'clock.
Go on then.
Can you stay for another section or not?
Go on, crack on. Ask him the question.
Right, middleweights in the world right now.
Yeah.
Yanibek Alimkhanuly, Erislandy Lara, Carlos Adames. Who's the top?
Carlos Adames.
Oh, really? Okay. What did you think about his performance against Hamza Shiraz?
To be honest, I thought he nicked that fight.
I thought he won it wide.
Yeah, I thought he won it. Yeah, I mean the scoring was
peculiar.
It
was very peculiar.
I think Hamza gave a good display. I don't think Hamza was himself. I think after he said he had a few hand injuries, which you could see weren't letting his hands go in times. But yeah, I believe Hamza didn't really deserve a draw there. But I mean, you don't know what the judges are thinking. Everyone's got a different perspective, I suppose.
Chris Eubank Jr., do you beat him right now?
I believe so, yes. Yeah.
Denzel Bentley, do you beat him right now?
He's a good friend of mine, actually, Denzel, but I've got to have confidence in myself and back myself, so I'm going to say yes.
Aaron McKenna, do you beat him right now? He looked good in his last outing, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
You hesitated.
Yeah. I was just trying to think of his last fight. That's why.
I think you're being respectful, Jimmy.
You are being. No, you're
because
very
I think the question. Listen, I get what Gareth's doing, and I always enjoy watching fighters answer his questions in that way. But at the end of the day, you're on a path, and there's a journey there, and I think. Fighters are always going to back themselves in whatever fight is presented towards them.
Yeah.
But there's certain lads there that he's just mentioned that are maybe in a different stage of their life and career compared to where you're at. I think in 2 years' time from where we're sat right now, these are genuine conversations about those types of fights, aren't they?
Definitely. I mean, Aaron McKenna's definitely on the up. He could be at world level or world title.
He's on the way.
By the time in 2 years' time, he could have that. He could be defending against me. And I mean, maybe Chris Eubank, he's on the way out. And Denzel Bentley's there with Aaron McKenna.
He's always going to be difficult. Fights. I mean, he was great against Alimkhanuly as well. Look, couple of more questions. We've been enthusing about what an incredible January is. I can never remember all the time I worked in boxing. I can never remember a January so busy.
Yeah.
January 31st, fans fight for all of us. Shaka Stevenson, Teo Lopez. I know you'll be watching it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great fight.
Who have you got?
I fancy Lopez, to be honest.
Really?
I mean, what he done with Lomachenko, he made him...
And Josh Taylor.
Yeah, and Josh Taylor. I think... I expected him to get beat against Lomachenko, to be honest, quite widely as well. I don't think Lomachenko was his best, but I still
it's like you fighting Beterbiev.
Yeah.
It's a light heavyweight against a middleweight, isn't it?
Yeah, true, yeah.
He's up 2 weight divisions, really.
Yeah.
He's a featherweight.
Yeah, and you can noticeusly, that's quite visible in the fight as well, isn't it?
Teo's best performance, probably, I think.
Yeah.
Even though I was there for Josh Taylor, I thought he was brilliant. So you're going Teo on his game, beats Shaka. I disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean, Shaka Stevenson is so hard to hit, though, ain't he? That's the only problem.
I think he's going to number one pound for pound in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's my argument.
Yeah.
Who's
number one at the minute? What do you say?
Come on.
Noya Nui.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The number £1 pound for pound.
Yeah. 4 fights last year.
Over Terence Crawford.
Over Terence Crawford. Terence is
Terence retired. You can have.
But he'll be back.
I'll give you that.
Who's your number one?
Terence Crawford. I think before that was Usyk. I'm going to have Inoue third, to be honest. But yeah, I think Alexander Usyk, what he's done, he's not just beat everyone, but he's beat everyone twice. I mean, AJ, Tyson Fury,
and
on the road.
That's why he wants to round up Wilder, because when they look back on it, he beat everyone.
Beat every single one. Yeah.
Will he beat Moses Tama though?
I think that's his biggest test. I think it's a fight too soon for Moses. Maybe.
Will Moses be a world champion by the end of this year? God, I'm grilling you tonight.
I think
you'll be back for more though, won't you?
Yeah, I think Frank Warren's gonna. He don't want to rush him. I mean, I think he's bound to be world champion. How his ability is unbelievable. So it's just about taking the time and the right steps to get there. I think
he might lose on the way as well.
Yeah.
Right, I've got to crack on with the rest of the program.
All right,
Jimmy. Before we let you crack on,
thank you, boys.
Have you got a date in mind of when you're going to be out for the first time this year?
I am going to be out early March. I think it's going to be a defence of the English title.
Great.
So there should be news coming soon. Yeah.
George on the card.
George, yeah, it's going to be a London card.
Johnny Fisher on the card.
Fisher.
Copper box. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
You know that's what's happening. He can't spill the beans, though. He's not allowed to.
But coming soon.
The great Matty Lawless is in with you tonight.
We're expecting a big card with all the boys on there. That's what we're expecting.
of Frank and Eddie from Matchroom. He will probably be battering me for pushing you too hard to get the information out.
Anyway, Jimmy, great to have you on the programme, mate.
Brilliant.
Don't be a stranger. Let's have you back on after the next victory. Top stuff. Keep an eye out for Jimmy Sains, as he says there. Early March is when he'll be back out in the ring. We're going to be talking Dalton Smith next. Don't be going anywhere.
What football ground are you thinking of when someone says this?
A really tough place to go. Difficult place to go.
Coming up in the next hour, we've got Bilal Fawaz, the English super welterweight champion, who's aiming to become the British super welterweight champion as he takes on Ishmael Davies. That's coming up on February the 21st. That's in Nottingham on the Wood Warrington 2 card, live on talkSPORT. We'll tell you all about that a little bit later on, but Bilal will be with us in the next 15 minutes or so. We're also going to be hearing from Nathan Heene. Bit of disappointment for him. He was supposed to be boxing next week on the Moses Itama card. That's been pulled, of course, pushed back into March. We'll catch up with Nathan as he still dreams of fighting in that stadium in Stoke City. 03717 22 3344. This is Fight Night on talkSPORT. Now then, last weekend we got ourselves a brand spanking new world champion. Dalton Smith went over to New York, Brooklyn in particular, to do the business on Subriel Matias, and he brought back the WBC £140 strap. This week he was in with White and Jordan to celebrate the moment.
I don't think it's really sunk in yet. I was saying to you before I got home and I'm sat in my kitchen looking at that on the side, I'm thinking, how the hell is that in my house? But now obviously it's good. What a weekend. And obviously it's not a shock to me because I always believed I'd be able to do it. But apart from a little bit of jet lag and tiredness, I feel good. But first of all, like, obviously, I never want anything easy anyway. Like, it's boxing. If you want to achieve great things, it's going to be hard. But obviously, after the first round, I proved I can box his head off. And then the second round, like, he was on it, he came. And the thing with Subriel is if you keep letting him push you back, he gets momentum. And to be honest, like, he hit me with his best shots. And as the rounds went on, I lost more respect for his power. I mean, as entertaining as it was for everyone else, I was losing respect, and I knew every time he threw, I had an answer for, and I was hurting him. And as the rounds went on, I felt him getting weaker, and he was getting tired. And I thought, your nickname is No Mastias, and I'm going to do what you said you was going to do to me. So I just thought, stick on his chest, and I'll get to him.
Did you think there was a moment in that fifth round you thought, this is it, this is my chance?
I mean, obviously it was a high-paced fight, but as much as I took some shots, like, it didn't hurt me. Like, it didn't hurt me, and I was losing respect for his power, but I knew I was gaining his respect for mine. But obviously the knockout came, but obviously there was loads left in my tank. You know, when she gets around 6 and 7, your second wing's going to come anyway. So I just thought, stay on his chest, push him back, show him no respect, and it's a world title fight.
I don't want to labour this point, Dalton, but we know about Matias.
Yeah.
Was there ever any doubt about going ahead with this, following his failed drugs test previously?
So the first thoughts, obviously I found out on Instagram when it came out. So your first thoughts are, the fight's off. You know, he's failed a drug test. And we learned pretty quick boxing has a few swings and roundabouts, and the fight still happened. So, you know, after a day, I was just like back in the gym. My dad was like, this fight's going to happen. Don't take your eye off the ball. So I just blocked everything out, and it did give me more fuel and hunger to go and think, right, basically, fuck you. You know what I mean? Just, I'm going to, like, you've tried putting everything against us and this, but the victory is going to be that much sweeter.
Did it not play on the back of your mind, though? You know, when you're talking about, like, I think it was Austrian, wasn't it? The performance-enhancing drug Austrian, and there was traces of it, and I think that the WBC allowed it and put him on probation, which is absolutely absurd because it was under the threshold of whatever it was. And you just go, well, that's what happens when a fighter's washing out of his cycle. So he's clearly, like, if it's in the system, it's in the system. So he's clearly used it. But did that ever play a part in your mind?
I couldn't allow it to.
Right.
You know, the fight was still happening. So it's, again, you play the cards you dealt, and it's either you run away from it or face it head on. So, you know, I just thought it's all a part of the story. And it's
did it focus your mind on, or, you know, you've got to have a degree of resentment towards the opponent, haven't you? Going into a fight. Did that centre it even more, thinking, you know what, not only am I going to beat you, I'm going to beat you because you're a cheat?
Exactly that. I lost respect for him because I think you've come in here to cheat. And like I said, especially in boxing, PEDs are probably the worst sport to be allowed in. Well, not allowed, but allow it to happen. But
did you say anything to him after the fight?
Of course, it's it was hard because I wanted to show him respect, but in another instance, I lost respect in the whole process of it. Of course, and you know, boxing's one of those. It's you can win no matter what. You can achieve the best thing in the world. You know, become a world champion. Boxing doesn't allow you to enjoy it because it's always who's next or someone else gets talked about. But it's like I don't want to put a downer on Adam Azim, but I've earned my stripes, and you know, I deserve those big fights.
And the big fight might be you against the winner of Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. Exactly that, and I believe I've earned my position to go and get those fights. Go and get a big fight at Hillsborough. You know, I'm in that position now, so you know, I don't want to put a downer on Adam Azim, but of course, go and win your world title. Yeah, I'm supporting you. I want you to go and do. And then
we'll talk. Yeah,
and then we'll talk.
And then we'll talk.
Lopez Stevenson, who wins it?
Yep. I think it's a 50-50 fight, but if I have to pick, I'm going Shakur on points.
You're going to go to it?
Possibly, yeah. More than likely, I'll be there.
And how would you feel about fighting either?
Without blowing smoke up my arse, I'm a world champion. I'm eligible to be in a ring with any of the champions.
What an absolutely brilliant interview. Not only did he give a sensational performance in the ring last week, but then he comes in the studio and absolutely dominates it and deals with it with so much dignity and class. Dalton Smith, you highlighted this at the start of the show. He has served his time in this sport, whether it be through those junior ranks, amateur ranks, senior ranks, into the pro game. He's took his time. He's had some serious learns along the way, picked up the area titles, the English titles, the British titles, the Commonwealth and European title, and now to be classed as a world champion at 140 pounds in the manner that he went about doing it away from home. It is up there. Listen, I know it's recency and people will come for me for this, but that is up there with some of the very, very best British performances on foreign soil that we have ever seen. You can list them all. Dalton Smith's name is absolutely amongst some of those names, the likes of the Lloyd Honeygans of this world. That was top class.
Yeah, Lloyd Honeyghan, Cal Brook, John H. Tracy, Ken Buchanan, Tyson Fury. He belongs in that grouping now. There's no question about that. Fought fire with fire. Thought he would beat Subriel Matias. Didn't think he'd stop him. It was a brilliant performance. What we saw there, you rightly pointed out, what we saw then was a man who's grown in confidence. And timing is everything. And it was the perfect matchmaking, perfect time for Dalton. He's in a very, very tough division. I don't think he beats Teo Lopez. I don't think he beats He's
earned the right to have a go, though.
But he's earned the right to have a go. I think he beats Gary Russell. I think he beats Richardson Hitchens. I think he beats Alberto Puello and Sandor Martin, who are next in line to face him. Does he beat Adam Azim? Different stylistically. Cannot wait to see those two fight. Adam Azim fights on January the 31st, of course. We will see those two within 15 to 18 months.
What a brilliant position to be in, though.
Amazing.
He's in a division where he is the champion.
Yeah.
There's a target on his back. Everybody will be coming for him. He gets the pick now. And if he can get the winner of Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, I'd tell you something, there'll be some fans travelling over to the States.
Absolutely right.
Over in the States. Or like he just said there, if they can get that back in Sheffield for him, that would be absolutely tremendous. Listen, Dalton, what a performance. Congratulations. Onwards and upwards to a magnificent and huge 2026. Don't be going anywhere. We're talking heavyweights next.
impressive. This is really, really good work from Fawaz.
You will fail if you don't try. And that's it. I'm hungry, and I'm not talking about food.
You can see Fawaz coming out really fast here.
I am the man.
And the new English Super Welterweight Champion, Bilal Fawaz.
You listen to Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. Gareth Davies is alongside me. February 21st. It's Lee Wood, Josh Warrington 2. Nottingham is the destination. On that card, our next guest is aiming to pick up yet another trinket. Recently being crowned the English Super Welterweight Champion, now looking for British and Commonwealth supremacy, taking on Ishmael Davies. You just heard the intro there. It is Bilal Fawaz, who very kindly has given up a bit of time to come and join us. Bilal, welcome. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Hello, everyone.
You're always doing fantastic, man. I mean, it's a silly question of me, mate. You've always got a good smile on your face and you're always in a fantastic mood, mate. Before we talk about this fight with Ishmael Davies, I want to talk about the journey to this particular point, because a lot of people will obviously point out 12 pro fights. He's 37 years of age. It's been a journey, hasn't it? It's been a long journey to this particular point. And a lot of things have happened away from the ring that have sculpted you as a person. Those difficulties have led you to this particular point, mate. Talk to me about that. Talk to me about that journey. And now you getting to reap the fruits of that very, very hard work.
Yes. We have planted the seed and the seed is now growing. So what I can say is if the universe want to make a man powerful, it shreds him into pieces first. And I think I've been shredded into pieces and I came out stronger. It's a long journey because where I came from, boxing the amateurs in the era of Anthony Joshua and all the big fighters that are now earning significant amount, I came with them and I wasn't allowed to work or turn professional. So I lost a tangible portion of my career. However, it's not what has happened in the past that is important, it's what is happening now. And Matchroom, Eddie Hearn gave me an olive branch, gave me a platform, gave me an opportunity for me to prove myself. You know, I liken this to imagine running a race, like a relay, you know, when you have 4 people on the track, positioned at different points. And I've been handed the baton. So it's what I do with it now that counts, you know, and I can say that if anything comes easy for you, you should be worried about it. You should think twice about that, because something that comes easy has something bitter attached to it. If something comes to you and you have to work hard, you best believe that the end result is cherishable.
Bilal, on this journey, have you thought that things like this that you're experiencing now might not necessarily happen? Because for people that don't know your story, what you were alluding to there, you did come through during that period of time with Anthony Joshua, but because of an immigration situation, you weren't allowed to proceed with a professional career. Along that journey, did you think, listen, it's not going to be for me, bureaucracy is maybe going to get in the way, certain things, legislation is going to get in the way and not allow me to pursue the dream of becoming a professional fighter?
See, that idea is praying to the devil. You know, when you start thinking like that, oh, is this going to happen? You are already doubting yourself, you know. I have this belief that I can do it. I will do it. It's done. It's mine. I just need to work harder than everyone else. And life give me more acceleration towards that. Of course, it's been treacherous, there's been hiccups, there's been obstacles along the way, barriers that hinders and prevent me from acquiring what I wanted. And I am 37 now. People retire at 37. Yeah. You know, people retire at 37. And my journey has just begun. What I will say is, I believed it. And I channeled it. I manifested it. I knew that if I carry on, keep my body in shape, eat clean, don't abuse it, my body will not behave like a 37 years old. And it doesn't do it now. Look, I'm beating people that are 23 years old. and I'm 37. People say, oh, well, he's old, he's slow. Well, let them come and test me.
Bilal, we were there when you put on an amazing performance against Junaid Boston, which you're alluding to there. It was a brilliant performance. You look like
twice.
Yeah, exactly.
Twice.
And you look like, well, with the last one, I'm talking about the majority decision win, a fantastic fight as well. And you looked like the 23-year-old that night. I mean, you've got an incredible physique. I was in the bar with you, Spencer Oliver, and myself afterwards, just saying congratulations to you. For those listening or watching this and don't know the story, let me just add to what Adam and Bilal have been talking about. At the moment, Bilal is a beloved boxer in the UK, but a stateless professional. He's the current English super welterweight champion. And this compelling story of being, I think this is correct, and you must correct me if I'm wrong, being trafficked to the UK as a child, overcoming homelessness, and you've had a 16-year battle with the Home Office, that we must campaign for you on this show and everywhere in this country to make sure that you become a beloved boxer. You boxed for England. You couldn't go to the Olympics. We love who you are. You are on your journey without the door being open at the moment, and all you need is the door to be opened.
He's smashing the door open himself.
I like that. Well, sometimes when you knock on a door and it doesn't open, you have to take drastic measures. And I've been knocking, and I asked people to give me chances, let me fight. Everybody said, no, that you're washed up, you're old. So I said, okay, I'm going to go down the harder road. So I started fighting people, journeymen, build up my reputation. I got to the point where the British boxing board could not ignore me because I've beaten everyone they put in front of me. So they gave me a shot. I won the shot. And now we're here. So I will say that it's treacherous, my situation now. It's unpredictable, but at least I can provide for myself and my family.
But Bilal, there's an irony about you fighting for the British and Commonwealth titles. There's an irony in that. And my belief is if you win those titles, that door will just open like abracadabra, like magic. And we need to campaign to the Home Office for you, because a man who holds those belts is a British person, is a Commonwealth person. So, take it from me. I really want to push this story out there and push the Home Office in your case and on your case, because it's justice for you. And hopefully on February the 21st, it will be justice for you.
Yeah. Look, I can tell you, I really, really do sincerely, deeply, and so heartedly appreciate what you're doing. But it's just one person that is the pen pusher in the Home Office that can say, you know what, this boy has boxed for England 6 times. He was England captain. Yeah. He's fought against the country that we intend to deport him to. And they cannot remove me from England. I don't have a country. I'm stateless. I don't have a passport. So inevitably, I will have to become, I will have to have a British passport at some point. I am British. I can tell you that. I haven't left the country in 24 years. Yeah. I've never traveled. In 24 years, I've never, ever traveled. Now, do you understand and fathom and comprehend the gravity of this situation? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, right, how can I be an English champion and I don't have a British passport? It's crazy.
It is crazy. It is. Listen, on the fight itself, February 21st, because for me, whatever happens result-wise, I still support exactly what Gareth just said there. I think it needs to absolutely be sorted in your favour, because you've served more than your time as a British citizen, Bilal. But you've got a hell of a fight on your hands, because Ishmael Davies, obviously, has been really good recently as well. He's the British and Commonwealth champion. This is a heck of a fight that you've got on Feb 21st in Nottingham, mate.
Yes, indeed. I will say it is a good fight. I've done my homework. I've dissected my, trajectory of how the fight is going to go. Ishmael Davies is a good fighter. but he only has muscles. He doesn't have the strategicness. He's just a tough guy, and when you meet a tough guy, you play to their strength. You use their power against them. I know how the fight is going to go, and I will find this fight much easier than any other fight. And he's a good guy, but he's in my way, and I will. Something is coming. Something is coming.
Are you looking forward to the Nottingham crowd? Listen, they create some noise in Nottingham. Obviously, Lee Wood and Josh Warrington are going to be the main event there, but Ishmael's got a nice little following too. It's going to be noisy in there, isn't it?
Well, I like the noise. I will channel that and use it to my advantage. I love it. It's a big card. Eddie Hearn and Matchroom did an amazing job putting the card. Even Junaid Boston is on the card as well.
I believe so, yeah.
You saw that, right? So it's a pretty good card. And it's amazing. 2 days ago, not 2 days, the last time I was on talkSPORT, I was pleading, and the guy that run the last show with me, Obi, he said, Bilal, someone should give you a chance. If anybody's listening and no one gives him a chance, then you're not the person I thought. And Eddie Hearn gave me a chance. 2 days ago, they signed me to Matchroom. Brilliant. I am now a Matchroom fighter.
Right.
So I can assure you, this is a dream come true. And everything happens for a reason. There is a concept that I always say, football, right? There's a football. It's meant to roll, right? But if you never kick it, it will never roll. I've been given the ball. Now I'm going to show everyone what I'm capable of. It is going to be a self-explanatory performance.
Listen, I'm
an entertainer. I can do that. Yeah, I am.
You've earned it, and I'm sure you're inspiring a lot of people as well with your journey. We're looking forward to the fight on Feb 21st. Stay safe and healthy during camp, and we look forward to seeing you do your thing in Nottingham against Ishmael Davies. All the best, Bilal. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
Top man. There you go. Bilal Fawaz with one of the most incredible stories currently in boxing. Gareth right to bring up the current situation regarding his status, but he does fight for the British and Commonwealth Championship against Ishmael Davis on Feb 21st. We will talk heavyweights, and we will talk about them next. heavyweights, shall we? There's a little bit of news floating around, of course, in the heavyweight division. Lots of noise regarding Alexander Usyk. We'll be talking to Ed Ramirez a little bit later on from I Visit Boxing, because his name's been linked with maybe Usyk fighting in the United States on YouTube. But there's a lot of talk in and around the current WBO champion, Fabio Wardley, and what is coming next for him. We are learning this week that the front runner for Fabio Wardley will be Derek Chisora. And on the flip of that, you may have seen an interview this week that Frank Warren has done on his in-house channels, stating that he's looking, obviously, to get Daniel Dubois back in action, and he's looking to try and make the Daniel Dubois-Zhili Zhang fight. Firstly, what do you make of those two?
Love them. Love those fights. Great fight for both Zhang and Dubois to come back to. But on the first one, WBO champion Fabio Wardley, my British Fighter of the Year last year, I think yours as well.
Yeah.
But for good reason. I really like the Chisora fight for him. I wanted it to be Moses Itauma, but they're both obviously in the Ben Davison Performance Centre, so they've ruled
Moses
out.
is injured, isn't he?
And Moses is injured to March the 28th, of course, still going to be Jermaine Franklin, we understand. I love Fabio Wardley against Moses Itauma as a fight down the line. I've also gone on record, I'm probably going to be proved wrong by Fabio, that he won't be a champion by the end of 2026. But
Why'd you say that?
I just think he's prepared to fight everyone.
Right.
And I could see him fighting Tyson Fury at some point this year, potentially now. I think Fury beats him, even though he's a dangerous prospect.
Even though he's been out of action for 2 years, Tyson?
A year and 14 months, isn't it now? I think he'll fight very soon. I just think he beats Fabio. But Fabio's got the equaliser to beat anyone at any point in a heavyweight fight anyway. But I do like that fight. I think Derek Chisora and Fabio Wardley in a ring together does a stadium. Maybe Portman Road again in the early spring.
Yeah, Portman Road. I think
30,000
Fabio point of view. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it for Derek. I like it for Fabio. I think Derek's competitive in that fight for 7-8 rounds. He won't thank me for saying this, but I think Fabio stops him.
Yeah, it's an odd one because, listen, you want meritocracy to obviously play out in the world of boxing, don't you? But I think Fabio Wardley's earned the right for a voluntary defence, given the fact that he's just beaten Joseph Parker and now he's obviously the champion. Derek Chisora. Is Derek Chisora worthy of a shot again at a world title? My overriding thought in my head is no, but he is ranked within the WBO. And if you look down those WBO rankings, you've got Moses Itauma, who's the number one, who's currently injured, so therefore he's out of the picture for a showdown with Fabio Wardley. And as Gareth just pointed out, they are stablemates, so that's going to be quite difficult to make. I think Filip Hrgović is ranked in there in some way, shape or form.
Number 2. Then you've got Zhang and Dubois, 3 and 4.
Right, well, wait a minute. On the Hrgović thing, I'm actually hearing that Hrgović is being pointed towards another British heavyweight, which I'll get to a little bit later on. You've just pointed out there that Frank Warren's trying to make Dubois versus Zhang. So therefore, I think the next one down will be, is it Anderson?
Jared Anderson, yeah.
Doing this off the top of my head, apologies. And then you've obviously got Derek Chisora. So from a Fabio Wardley point of view, it makes an awful lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because Derek Chisora's got a massive profile. I think it's a fight that's very winnable for Fabio Wardley. It's the next best ranked available guy. It makes an awful lot of business sense. And I think to keep the Fabio Wardley train rolling, I think it does work. And I think, like what you've just pointed out, if you can get Ipswich, that would push us to summer, though. I think that's too late. I think we've got to do it a little bit earlier.
No, it's early spring. But April. We could do it in April. We've had out.
Depends if you can get the football pitch for then. Obviously, with Ipswich doing whatever they're doing in the championship. Listen, it's all right. Personally, I'd have loved to have seen Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois. I'd have absolutely.
Oh, that's a great fight.
I'd have absolutely loved to make that fight. I think Dubois versus Zhang's dangerous. You know, I don't know where Daniel's at right now. Zhang had fancied that. I know that Zhang's, what is he?
41.
42 years of age now. I think he's very hittable, but he's also he's also got some thudding shots. I think that's actually a solid fight for Daniel Dubois if that's his comeback.
I think he wins it. I think Zhang's past his best now.
Interesting.
I like it though. Can they put together?
Question.
Can Wardley and Chisora, Zhang and Dubois be on the same card together on that Portman Road event, or do you think they need to split
They'll
them?
probably split that up and try and maximise the amount of different shots. Here's a question for you: where does Lawrence Okoli fit into all this?
He's the nobody wants me club guy, isn't he? Crash bang wallop style, dangerous with both hands, left hook, right hand, could beat anyone in the division on his day. As I say, punches and holds. Its style's never going to change. He's a massive guy.
He has. Since being with Joe Gallagher, his style has slightly changed. It's not as much holding, is it? Let's be honest. It's not as much holding.
He's not going to change at this
But
stage.
if we're dead honest, in the heavyweight division, I haven't seen him up against someone in the heavyweight division as of yet. I know that people might point towards Kevin Lorena, who gave Daniel Dubois absolute nightmares, but for me, I haven't seen him up against anyone yet. But he is ranked highly, number one with the WBC.
Yeah.
So my situation is this. Ajit Kabayel last week was absolutely I love Ajit Kabayel. I thought
it was a little bit off.
But I love how entertaining he is.
Oh, yeah.
Tech shots, dishes shots out. He's just an absolute...
Fights on the inside.
Yeah, absolute joke. He would, superb entertainment, right?
And now a star in Germany.
Right.
Which is great.
Well, the WBC need to get their act together. And they need to call Ajit Kabayel Alexander Usyk. They need to call the fight. Now, I've no problem if Usyk doesn't want to take the fight. He wants to go and do something else. But that WBC belt has to then be on the line for Ajit Kabayel. I'm sick of this defending interim and all this. And if that is then the case, you've got to make Ajit Kabayel and Lawrence Okoli, haven't you?
Well, he's number one challenger, so yes, in that sense. But it wouldn't surprise me to see Kabayel fight a Filip Hrgović in Germany. That wouldn't surprise me. They're going to keep him in Germany now, I think.
Rightfully so.
And I think they can get 30,000 next, or maybe 25,000.
Rightfully so. The
Go small
noise,
stadium.
the noise last week was unbelievable. The people came out for him. You keep him in Germany.
I watched it. Yeah,
he was brilliant. It's going to be interesting to see how this heavyweight division now plays out over the next 6 months or so, because there's obviously people coming back, as you were alluding to there with Tyson Fury. What is all
coming back? His bipolarity is on fire at the moment. He is posting every other day or every day, twice a day. Been on a run, been on a hard run. You'd have thought he hadn't taken a year out. He's definitely got the bug again. He's definitely excited again. And the way he's training and the way he looks, I think they're going to announce a fight soon. And I wonder if it is Arslanbek Makhmudov, who's still in the...
Well, off the back of the victory against Dave Allen.
Yeah, and he's 6 with the WBA. So I think that's a good opponent for Tyson Fury to come back to. It's a credible opponent. It's a decent opponent, but I think it's a good stylistic matchup with Fury.
Okay. Let's see what happens. I'm fascinated to see what happens with Alexander Usyk. I want to see Usyk back doing his thing. Let's see.
You don't like the Wilder fight, do you, Deontay Wilder?
I just think it's pointless. He wins it. But listen, if Alexander, the thing is, right,
it'll only happen if it makes commercial sense, and then I think
it does make commercial sense.
It's struggling commercially. I think.
Listen, it does make commercial sense because Saudi Arabia will back it, no doubt, because of the name value of both of those gentlemen. My problem is that Deontay Wilder, right? Yes, he served his time with the WBC, multiple defences, knockouts and all this type of stuff, but he is a busted flush. He ain't that guy no more. So therefore, affording him a shot at the world title, that shouldn't sit right with any boxing fan. Now, I've no problem with Usyk fighting Wilder, but the title shouldn't be on the line. Give those belts back to people that are at the top of the division in order to fight for those particular belts, like Ajit Kabayel.
Yeah, Wilder doesn't merit a world title.
Correct.
At the moment. No, that is correct. So maybe, and also, I mean, I spoke with Adi Oladipo, our colleague Adi Oladipo, on the Fight Night Extra show during the week, and there is talk that it is struggling as a commercial
Usyk Wilder
at the moment. Yes,
yeah, probably,
because how do they generate 50-60 million out of that fight, because that's what they need for that fight. Because you think about what Usyk's been paid in recent times for the 2 fights with Tyson Fury in 2024 and the 1 fight with Daniel Dubois in 2025. They
I'll tell you what,
the credibility.
Here you go. If you want the dough, Alexander Usyk. Listen, who am I to tell you what the crack is, mate? But
you're going to anyway.
You are an absolute genius of this sport. But here you go. If you want to generate the money and you want to generate the interest and you want to fill a stadium, go and fight Ajit Kabayel in Germany. It would sell out like that. You do 50, 60, you do Bayern Munich stadium, you do whatever, mate. Absolutely
and
crackers.
I think he wins it.
And you would get the dough for it, and it would be a fight that every single fight fan would be like, whoa, right, that's a proper fight. Ajit Kabayel, Alexander Usyk ticks every single box required for the heavyweight championship.
Plus one more, which is Turki Al-Sheikh hasn't done a big fight in Germany yet, so they can do a big fight.
Would Turki Al-Sheikh need to be involved with it? I don't even know if he needs to be involved. But look at what Queensbury did last week. They put 20,000 bums on a seat in an arena.
13,000, yeah.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. It felt like 25,000.
They could sell it double over.
Yeah.
And if you put Usyk against it, and it's the heavyweight championship of the world,
you do it in Hamburg in the stadium. You do it in one of the big football grounds. Easy.
Come on, that's the fight. Let's make it happen.
and WBA Continental Middleweight Champion, Nathan Hitman Heene.
Now, next week we were due to be in Manchester, and this man was part of what we were there for. Of course, it's not to be, with Moses Atama getting injured and that card now being scrapped. It is always a pleasure to have him on, the former British champion, Nathan Heene. How are you, mate? You good?
Good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Very well indeed. Thank you very much for giving up a bit of time to come and join us on a Saturday night. I think most people feel your pain this week, mate, seeing you on social media, extremely excited, finishing camp, getting yourself ready, delivering all the tickets to all the fans, and then obviously the news drops that next week isn't to be. It's going to be pushed back until March 28th. Frustrating times at the start of the year for you.
Oh, brutal. Like, it's like when I put on social media, it wasn't to put anything on anyone. It was literally just the facts of the matter. I dropped my kids off. I had about 10 tickets out of the just over 2,000 that I'd delivered left to give out. And then my manager's phoned me and said, the show's off. I was like, you what? Like normally you'd find that the opponent changes last minute. But for the whole event to be called off, I was thinking, oh, I couldn't believe it. Particularly when things go so well and you got the light at the end of the tunnel where you're ideally going to become the champion. And then you're going to have many bottles of red wine and curries and everything that's going to follow it. But that's on hold now for another 10 weeks.
Well, sorry, go on.
So all those tickets have gone out.
Yeah.
So before they come to break down the door, if I can say that.
They're all still valid for March 28th. It's okay. They're all right.
And break down the door, Delilah. Never mind. Do you have any requests for people not to come to March the 28th now, or has everybody kept their ticket?
Well, yeah, it's bear in mind, I'm sure it's at the half term. So it's ideal because in regards to it's an international break, so there's no Stoke City game on that day.
Right.
But there will be people that've got holidays and stuff planned. Now, I've messaged every single person. Bear in mind the amount of time this takes, by the way, to message every single person that's brought a ticket to say, listen, the date's now changed. If you haven't seen it online, this is the deal. I can either refund you or your tickets are still valid. I'd say roughly about 5% can't make it, which is not bad. Which is not bad at all because I was freaking out. So I'm thinking, no one's going to be able to make it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just out the blue and hotels and everything. But luckily, there's not many people at all, which I can't believe, to be honest. But yeah, they are phenomenal.
Now, just explain this, right? Because there'll be people tuning into talkSPORT tonight that aren't necessarily boxing fans. They'll be just casually listening to the show, and obviously we're wittering on about boxing, and they're listening to a boxer that was British champion in the middleweight division, right? Talking about selling tickets, delivering tickets, travelling around, round trips of 500 miles, going to people's houses.
It's 1,200 miles, isn't it?
Seeing people at the doorstep and all this type of stuff. Just talk to me about this process, because you've been doing this for years, mate, and the personal touch, it goes a very, very long way to the actual fan base that you've managed to build up in Stoke.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was much easier on my debut when I sold 60 tickets, but obviously, as the years progress, I mean, what was it? Maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, there was like 1,500 people that I delivered to. It's just grown every single time. But all you do is, I can't really, it's hard to explain to everyone, like in terms of what you do, but essentially I sell all my tickets. But there's a difference between me and any other fighters. Some other fighters will have their dads doing it, their aunties doing it, their friends doing it.
Yeah.
The only people that do it are me and my wife. Like, if it wasn't for my wife, Louise, there'd be mistakes made everywhere.
Is she good on the Excel, mate? Has she got everything written down there, everybody's numbers and what have you?
Oh, she's incredible. Listen, we write the payments, the ticket numbers, everything. Like, she is so good, it's unreal. Like, without her, I wouldn't be able to do it. Then all I do is, obviously, I just then deliver all the tickets out.
Yeah.
But because of the snow, there was a lot of snow that happened around Stoke this time. So I had to send quite a few deliveries out in the Royal Mail, and that comes to about 750 quid that I spent. So when I found out that the event was off, I was thinking, oh my, I've just spent nearly $1,000 in
postage,
Royal Mail. Like, now I don't charge anyone for that because I don't like doing that. They spend their money to come see me fight anyway. So I try my best to save as much money as possible for my supporters.
So Nathan, fantastic moustache, by the way, at the moment. Absolutely phenomenal moustache. So you know, we love and respect you. You've been friends of our show for a very long time. So talk us through a non-icy, non-snowy, typical day when you're delivering tickets. When does it start? What time are you up? Do you have coffee together? Is it you and the missus? Do you head out? Talk us through a typical day around delivering
He's
tickets.
not Postman Pat.
He is, though, but he is.
So a process would be, let's say, I'll have like hundreds and hundreds of tickets all in bunches. So postcodes, particularly so ST1 to ST15, which is all over Stoke and Staffordshire or whatever. And all I'll do is I'll take a certain bunch, which let's say there's 50 deliveries in ST3. I'll use like an app, put all the postcodes in, set the route, drop my kids off at school, do my first training session, drop my tickets off, come home, pick the kids up, then go back to them, and then repeat the process until all 2,000 tickets are delivered.
Mate, on top of all this, right, what you've just said there regarding the expense of doing that, and obviously the time and the dedication that you're putting into that, we're obviously training for a fight here, mate.
Yeah.
So there's costs to that as well. So you have, I would imagine, you've got a young family, so there's parts of Christmas that you will have had to have sacrificed, no doubt. I'm sure you've been training over Christmas. You can't indulge on the old Christmas spuds and turkey dinner too much. I know that you might have had a bit, but not too much and what have you. So there's cost implications to that. There's time implications to that. And now with the pushback being what, 2 months, you've kind of got to go and do all that again, haven't you?
That was it. Yeah, that was a bit. I was thinking to myself, you can almost have this little mind game with yourself, thinking I've got to do this all over again.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that it's because it's like I'm getting ready for 2 fights, but you're not really, because you're not actually fighting. So like it's different if I was fighting next week and then getting straight into the next fight, because the stress of a fight and so on can all add on. But yeah, like it was the worst December in my life. Like I didn't go out, I didn't drink. I had no York's pudding on me Christmas dinner, mate. No, none. Like we go out to Manchester. Me and my mates do every Christmas.
Yeah.
I cancelled that this year because I said it's too close to the fight. Can't do that. It's brutal, but it's just part of the game, isn't it? So
listen, this is a personal question, obviously, because you're getting to that. You're an incredibly fit guy. You've achieved so much already. I know there's one more thing that you're looking for. Is that the thing that's keeping you driving, keeping you in this game? The opportunity maybe to fight at Stoke.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the things that has kept me going throughout the years, because that's always the one, like, it actually can genuinely happen. I mean, you'll have to look at this fight now, like over 2,000 people. It's an hour away. It's not in my own town. When I take all these people, it's like hours away, an hour away from Stoke every single time, whether that's Birmingham, Manchester, or whatever. And yeah, the dream of Stoke is still there, but I do have to also realise that could have to be 2027 if that was to happen. Because now this fight's been moved.
Yeah.
Like that's too close to a Stoke City fight, which would have to happen in June.
Yeah. What's the process then now for you? You March, obviously you're going to fight.
Yeah.
Activity wise, how many are you looking for then this particular year in order to try and set this up for Stoke City?
I'll probably have 2 more fights. But again, what's so hard with it is a bit like the first defence I had against Bad Pauls, which is a draw, which, listen, was it a competitive fight? It was, but I don't think it was a draw. No matter how many times I watched it, it wasn't a draw. But Stoke City was booked for 2024, 8th of June 2024, Carlos Adamez for the WBC World title. But that draw messed everything up. It messed me ranking up. It messed everything up.
Yeah.
So, it's one of them, like, it's okay having these fights in between, but it's so risky. Like, if one mistake can mess up anyway. So I just want the biggest fights possible. Let's say we could do Stoke next year.
Yeah.
But if I'm offered, let's say there's some way of getting some kind of major title fight, I'll take that any day of the week, because that's something going to set up in the future anyway.
Yeah.
But the risk is there. The reward for the risk is there, should I say.
So you're in it. It's interesting to get into your headspace with it because, like I said, you've achieved so much already. And it is a brutal game, and you've got a young family and all these fantastic things ahead of you, no doubt, in your life, mate. But to be still in that headspace, dedicated to the craft, prepared to give up your Christmas, prepared to be working towards something, I think is really important at this stage of someone's career. But also, it's refreshing to hear you then speak about taking each one at a time, because there's banana skins along this way. You know what I mean? You've got this fight with Warburton coming up in March. You've got to be bang on. And if you bang on that, that will lead to something else. And if you bang on that, you never know, as you've just pointed out there.
Yeah.
You know,
and I love me. I love it. This is all I ever wanted to be. From a 17-year-old boy, which we're talking 19 years ago, so it's a long time. I remember thinking, I'm not going to make it as a footballer, which I wanted to be. Now I want to become a boxer, which was very delusional at the time. And then somehow, even though I was going through the small hall scene, I still managed to be exactly where I wanted to be all those years ago, signed by Frank. And to be honest, I didn't even imagine these nights. You can't imagine the size of these events that I've been on. And when I won the British title, and I mean, you were there, Adam. You were both there. Yeah. You saw it like it just. And I think I saw like a stat earlier on AI. I don't know how true it is, but I was one of the oldest British middleweight champions, like at 34 years old in 6 months, something like that. So it's like, yeah, I've done okay as I've got later on. Bear in mind, my next fight is going to be 6 days before my 37th birthday. So I'm like, come on. I'm not in bad shape for 37.
No, mate, listen, I think it is. Do you know something? Is it? Do you think it comes down to the maturity levels that you've actually got in your normal life that allow you to then, one, appreciate where you're at right now, and ride this thing until the wheels come off, man? You know what I mean? Just eke every single sinew out of it because you've waited so long for the chance.
Exactly. And another thing as well is when I was younger, like when I was 17, I was such a young looking lad. I used to look about 12 years old.
Is that why you got attached now?
Well, mate, you can tell how long it's been since we fight because I've had that much time to grow it. But the worst thing is I've got another 10 weeks to grow it now. My wife hates every second of it, but anyway. But you know, I was a late developer, and I used to pray, "Oh, please let me grow, let me get bigger." And so, but then in hindsight, it's actually probably given me a bit of longevity in the long run, anyway. So it's my life, everything around it does work for what I want to do, but I just love the sport, and I love dedicating myself to it as well.
Mate, can't wait to hear that Delilah one more time at least, mate. You know what I mean? We'll look forward to that in March. Enjoy a little bit of rest before you get back to it, mate, and then obviously stay fit and healthy in the camp because we want to see it happen. All right, pal?
Thanks so much. Cheers, lads.
Cheers, Nathan.
There you go. Nathan Heene. Obviously, a little bit of disappointment for all these fans as well, due to fight next week in Manchester on the Moses Atuma card. Moses obviously is injured. That fight has now been pushed back. I'm told that all your tickets, if you've purchased them, they are available. They're still valid, should I say, for March 28th. 2,000 fans, man. 2,000 Stoke fans.
Very, very
good. It's going to be absolutely crackers, isn't it? We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Virgil Ortiz next. Don't be going anywhere.
The Ryder Cup. Unique, euphoric, unanimously loved. Here's the history and some of the key numbers behind the contest that grips the world of golf and beyond like no other. The first edition was held in 1927, where a Great Britain team arrived by boat to play in Massachusetts at the Worcester Country Club. Originally, the competition comprised of 4 foursomes and 8 singles, with 4 balls not introduced until 1963. In the first 22 editions, when it was just Brits and Irish against the US, America only lost 3. So, in 1979, in came the rest of Europe, including the future 5-time Ryder Cup winner, Seve Ballesteros. Since Team Europe was established, the head-to-head reads Europe 13, USA 9. Home advantage is a big deal. Europe's last away win was the miracle at Medina in 2012, and America hasn't won on European soil since '93 at the Belfry. It's accepted that both teams tailor their home courses to suit their own players. For example, in Paris in 2018, Thomas Bjorn asked for the rough to be kept extra long beyond the green to target the big booming American drives. 10 years earlier, Paul Azinger did the opposite, and the Valhalla rough was trimmed right down. On both occasions, the home side were resounding winners. So what about the money? The most recent Ryder Cup in Rome drew in a record 271,000 spectators and boosted the Italian economy by €262 million. In the US, the PGA America TV deal with NBC is worth $440 million. But no Ryder Cup revenue has ever gone directly to individual players. That's until now. In 2025, for the first time ever, the US team will each receive a fee for playing in New York. Of course, in Rome, legend has it Patrick Cantley refused to wear his cap because he wasn't being paid to wear it, though he insisted it simply didn't fit. Either way, Team Europe have made it clear they're more than happy.
It's Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall. Gareth Davies is alongside me. You may have seen on social media over the last 24 hours or so quite a lot of noise from IVB, I Visit Boxing. Well, Ed Pereira, the CEO of IVB, is going to be on the show within the next 15 to 20 minutes, so make sure you stick around for that. George Glinsky's going to be here as well. But we've got some breaking news. We're going to tell you some stuff in a minute because talkSPORT are going back out on the road. This is Fight Night on talkSPORT. Now then, fight fans. As Gareth said at the start of the show, it is an exciting time, exciting start to the year. Lots of brilliant shows being booked by various promoters all over the world in various destinations. And as we pride ourselves here on talkSPORT as being the home of boxing, whether it be on the talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel or via our podcast, we like to get you as close as we possibly can to the action. So we can confirm that coming up, I mean, we were supposed to be in Manchester next Saturday night for Moses Atama. Obviously, sadly, that show is not happening. But a couple of weeks after that, we're going to be in Liverpool as Nick Ball takes on Brandon Figueroa. We're going to bring you live commentary of that on February the 7th from Liverpool for the Featherweight Championship. A couple of weeks after that, we are going to be in Dublin, March 14th. For Jazza Dickens against Anto Kakachi, another cracking fight. You may have seen the press conferences for that this week. And then obviously the rescheduling of Moses Atama versus Jermaine Franklin, which is March 28th in Manchester. So there you go. 3 dates for you right now. There are more to come. We're just finalising a couple more over the next couple of months. Nick Ball, Brandon Figueroa in Liverpool, Feb 7th. Jazza Dickens, Anto Kakachi on March the 14th in Dublin, which will be absolutely tremendous. And then you've got Moses Atama and Jermaine Franklin March 28th. Nothing like being at a live fight, especially when there's world titles on the line.
Well, 3 massive fight cities. Dublin, amazing. Kakachi and Dickens, we were just talking about that off air. An amazing fight. It'll be a great weekend. You're trying to get me down to Conor McGregor's Forged Irish
grass. Don't be grassing me.
I'm not. No, I'd like to go. I'd like to go and have a steak and the what is it? A Forged Irish.
Go have a little bit of a stout.
I'll have to. I don't normally drink. I'm a tequila guy, but I would definitely drink that. And I hope Conor's going to pour us a pint when we're there. Moses Atama, Jermaine Franklin. Obviously, we talked about it at length. I think it's a great test for Moses in the Great Mank. Co-op Live Arena. Brilliant fight city. But Nick Ball against Brandon Figueroa, I think, is one of the highlight fights of 2026. Yeah, I think I've always been a fan of Brandon Figueroa. 29, 5'9". He's only lost twice to Stephen Fulton, I think it is. All action fighter. It's a test for Nick Ball, this one. It's a genuine test. And I think if Ball comes through it, and again, we're in the great country of Liverpool, as it is the state of Liverpool.
The Principality,
Principality, the fighting Principality of Liverpool. Scousland. We love going there for big fights. If Nick Ball wins this, yes, Naoya Inoue go and fight Junta Nakatani at the Saitama Superdome in front of 50,000 people and have the big Japanese, the two samurais coming together for a big battle. But please, then, Naoya, if you win that, step up Inoue and face Nick Ball at featherweight, because I think Naoya Inoue wins it. Forgive me, Nick, I'm voting with my head, not my heart, because I'd love you to beat him and go down in history, but I'd love to see that fight as well.
Listen, I rate Nick Ball extremely highly. Personally, I think Brandon Figueroa has just slipped recently. And I think that Nick Ball's going that way and Brandon Figueroa's going that way. They might be meeting right in the middle. Figueroa, once upon a time, was absolutely
and he's upper weight as well from Super Bantam, where he probably did his best work.
I'm delighted that Jazza Dickens has got a big fight. Anto Kakachi's no mug either. And we all know what Moses of the Town was all about. Fingers crossed he's fit and healthy for March the 28th. So 3 really good shows then. 3, I've no doubt there'll be some supporting cast that come along with that too. But 3 really good shows. And as I say, we are hoping to sprinkle in a couple more.
We get the watch-alongs those nights, yeah? So we actually get to sit in the arena on Saturday nights for talkSPORT. It doesn't get better than that, does it?
It does not. So if you're there, in those cities, during that time, it's Gareth's round. So if you want to get a beer off him, he'll...
For all 15,000 of you, yeah.
Right, stick around. There's been some big news this week from the IVB. Ed Pereira is the CEO. Hopefully we're going to have him on the show in a moment or two to discuss about this record-breaking attempt taking place in July in San Francisco. We'll talk about it next. This show's a little bit like the higher state of consciousness, isn't it? Taking you to the next level. I'm Adam Catterall, Gareth A. Davies alongside me for Fight Night on talkSPORT. Time to welcome in George Glinsky. How are you, my man? You good?
Hello, guys. Just enjoying Gareth's dance moves. They're very impressive.
Enjoying? That's a very selective word that you've used there, mate.
You look like you're in some kind of weird TARDIS today, let alone the dungeon or the attic. Where the hell are you tonight?
This is still the attic, although it has been referred to as the teepee on multiple interviews.
Yeah.
So it's not just you guys that are mentioning my background.
Look at that, lad. Hey, grafting away is the boy. Let's get to the big stories then, shall we? That are taking up all George's time on talksport.com. Some good ones, some bad ones, and we're actually going to start with a bit of a bad one because once again, Mr. Gervonta Davis finds himself in a bit of trouble, doesn't he, mate?
Yep, obviously been downgraded now to WBA lightweight champion in recess amid the ongoing legal troubles. There's obviously that option now that he's the champion in recess, that if he does return, he may be able to fight for that belt again. But it does allow the division to move on, which is obviously fantastic for those around that division. Number 1 ranked Floyd Schofield, number 2 ranked Lucas Baddy, the front runners, it seems, to fight for a vacant world title. That fight was in talks for last June, so it's a fight that has a framework in place. Obviously, Davies has been out of action since March. There were calls for him to be stripped altogether, but at the moment, it's champion in recess.
This is has he been? Was it filed for arrest or has he been arrested? What's the situation with him?
There's an arrest warrant out for him right now. As far as I'm aware, they haven't found him, which is remarkable in 3 days.
Indeed, it is. And this stems back to a domestic incident that took place last October, if I'm not mistaken. So this is a new one, another one for Gervonta Davis. Give me something more positive, man. Come on, give me what else? What else is on your website that's causing people to smile?
What? Exactly what you want. A positive story. Craig Bujanowski, who amazing story from the 1980s, cruiserweight boxer. Lost his right foot in a motorcycle accident, had a prosthetic leg fitted, went back into the ring 18 months later and went on this amazing run, which culminated 6 years later in him fighting for a WBA cruiserweight title against Robert Daniels in 1990. He lost that night, but he won the adoration of fans. He was invited to the Vatican to meet the Pope. It's a really crazy story, and one that I think flies under the radar. We hear a lot about Vinny Paz, and obviously, amazing what he came back from. But Craig Bujanowski, not someone who a lot of boxing fans will be aware of.
Was he the toughest man on one leg? Is basically what he was? No?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it is absolutely remarkable that a man can come back from what he did. To fight a man also in Robert Daniels, to take him the distance, a guy who beat Dwight Mohammed Kawi, absolutely no slouch at all. Just an amazing story and a really good feel-good story that people have been clicking on this week.
Why sports always just drags up the most bizarre tales of against all odds, doesn't it?
Yeah, therethere's wrestlers with no legs. There's
our good friend Mr. Bisping with one eye, man, doing his thing in the world of MMA.
Yeah. There's I can't remember his name now, but he's a drummer with a band. He had thalidomide and he had an MMA fight, and obviously could mainly kick. I remember when he took his cloak off, it shocked his opponents.
It's incredible.
It's the valor of people. As you know, I've covered many Paralympic games, 8 Paralympic games now, I think it is, and the spirit of a fighter is not defined by what the body is. No. It's inside that soul of that person. Why is he relevant? Have you just picked him out as a story this week? Why the relevance this week, George?
It's been a very quiet news week. I sort of store away these interesting stories that I come across, reading old Ring magazines and some of your stuff, actually, Gareth, from old Ring magazine
stories. From the 1930s?
Yeah,
right. You beat me to it. There you go. That's a good one.
Do you think Craig's story should be made into a biopic?
It's movies, isn't it?
It's a Hollywood movie.
Yeah, that was probably the most surprising thing about all of this. There was no film made of him. There is a book, which I actually have purchased, so we'll see how good that is. But no film, no mention of that. Obviously, he passed away in 2013.
Yeah.
after some struggles with alcohol and criminal charges. That very sad end to the story, but no film at all. It screams silver screen treatment.
Come on then, Gareth wants to talk Canelo. Let's do it.
Yep, obviously you guys will have seen that Canelo is back in action. September the 12th, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. This is the first fight since that defeat to Crawford. He skipped out on his usual Cinco de Mayo date as he recovers from surgery on his left elbow. Turki Al-Sheikh saying that it's going to be a world title fight, which to me is very interesting. Obviously, we have the super middleweight belts have fragmented now that Crawford has retired. So there's a potential there of him fighting any of the champions that come out of those various vacant world title fights. Obviously, Hamza Shiraz, someone he's been linked with quite heavily, is among the list for WBC and WBO. I'm really keen who you guys think is a good fight for Canelo right now.
Who is Canelo's promoter?
He says it's going to be his promotion.
Yeah, but he's just got an affiliation with Turki Al-Sheikh, yeah?
Yeah, it's going to be Canelo Promotions. I think I read that Turkey was saying it will be Canelo Promotions, and he's the captain, he's the promoter, and it's going to be a group of Mexicans against a group of... Is it Mexico versus the world?
Mexico versus the world. I'm not sure how exactly that's going to work out, but that's the title.
I think Hamza Shiraz is a brilliant opponent for him at super middleweight.
Has he confirmed that it will be super middleweight? Is that what he's going to be doing? Is he going to be staying there, or will he have a little look at light heavy? What's he going to be doing, George?
No confirmation in that regard. Obviously, there's that rematch with Dimitri Bivol. I think that's the only fight he said he'd be keen on fighting back at light heavyweight, potentially that rematch. I'm not sure I want to see that, if I'm completely honest. I think Hamza Shiraz makes a lot more sense, but super middleweight, I think, would be the wise move for him right now.
Interesting to see how that plays out. So that's September the 12th. We've got a lot of months to wait before the Cinnamon One returns to the ring. Top stuff. Thank you very much for your time, mate. Much appreciated. What did you? Can I get your professional opinion on Jai Opetaia signing for Zuffa? What did you make of that when that burst? Because I've no doubt that'll be all over your website this week.
Yeah, I found it a little bit alarming, considering obviously that Zuffa Boxing are talking about not recognising the sanctioning bodies. When the press release came through, it said Road to Undisputed, which I found really alarming. Obviously, Jai's been chasing those unification fights for a long time. It's going to be really interesting to see how this all plays out. But Dana obviously said he wouldn't be entering into any sort of agreements with other promoters, and he's got a co-promotional deal here with Tasman Fighters. So let's see what happens.
Let's see indeed, mate. Listen, thank you very much for your time, buddy. Much appreciated. Do stick with us. I did promise you Ed Pereira from IVB, I Visit Boxing. He's going to be on the show next. Don't be going anywhere. It's Fight Night on talkSPORT. I'm Adam Catterall, Gareth A. Davies alongside me. Now, we've been talking about the big stories that have been dropping this week. Jaya Pereira obviously signing with Zuffa Boxing. They get their show on the road next Friday. Also, over the last 48 hours, you will have seen news dropping from IVB, I Visit Boxing, announcing an attempt at a world record boxing crowd, a partnership as well with YouTube. The CEO of I Visit Boxing, Ed Pereira, very kindly giving up a little bit of time to come and join us on the show to talk us through this and explain a little bit further for boxing fans. Ed, thanks for this. How are you, my man? You well?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, guys. A bit tired. It was a busy last 24 hours, but all good to be here with you.
Well, we appreciate you coming back to answer even more questions, because I know that you've been asked a ton yesterday when you were at the press conference and what have you. First, let's explore the partnership with YouTube. What does that look like for IVB?
I think we're really excited of partnering with YouTube. I think there's two reasons there. The first one is their scale. You know, for us, it's the biggest platform on earth, 2.7 billion users, and we've got access to those users. I think, you know, in the old days, you'd look at ESPN, the old ESPNs, those HBO deals. They had the coverage, they had the fans, the eyeballs were with them. Things have changed now. The eyeballs are with the streamers. You can see that from the shows with Netflix, etc. So for us, if we wanted to stream, the dream was YouTube. I'm really glad to kind of be working with them to get this done. So the first thing is just the access to the platform. Second thing is the technology that they bring to bear. Our deal looks very like the NFL one, where the technology that we got with the NFL, or the NFL got with YouTube, was great. The content creator watch-alongs, the multi-camera angles, or you can choose different things. So really excited to working with them for both of those things, really.
So it's completely different. For example, like here at talkSPORT, we do stream X, Y, and Z on YouTube when we're doing live events and things like that. It's a different type of relationship that you've set up with YouTube. It's a more intimate, more personal relationship. Are they involved in the funding or anything like that? How's it working?
Yeah, no, it's a kind of a really intimate relationship, absolutely, because of two things. I think for me, what excited us about that was actually, I think their help in looking at growing the audience within boxing. They've got loads of boxing content and loads of boxing eyeballs.
Yeah.
So for us, it's kind of that link to be helped to kind of target and engage with those audiences. And also, you know, one of the key things that we're looking to do is to make money. Everybody wants to make money. So we're going to be using pay-per-view, their pay-per-view platform. So really excited about that, because obviously when you're looking at pay-per-view normally in the market, it's what we call behind a double paywall. So you've got to pay the subscription, then the pay-per-view on top. YouTube is ubiquitous. It's in everybody's pocket. It's preloaded on everybody's phones. That pay-per-view platform, that's the secret. So we're really excited about that, as well as kind of that strength with regards to those links with the content creators. I think one of the big things, look, I understand the purists. When you look at somebody like Jake Paul, the purists might have something to say about it. But what you cannot deny is that he brought eyeballs to boxing. Well, Jake Paul was made on YouTube with his brand. I mean, great guy, great team behind him, but his brand was YouTube. And for me, talking to YouTube in the early negotiations and having chats with them, I said to them, look, why don't we build a great content creator out of an amazing boxer? So start with the athleticism first, and then let's go on to making them superstars. And with that platform, you can do that.
Okay. Two questions on that then. What type of price point are you looking at for the end user when it comes through the pay-per-view on YouTube?
Really important, this one. I've gone out and said I wanted to bring boxing back to the people, so we've got to keep it cheap. I think something that Gareth said, look, there is earlier in the show, there is a space for pay-per-view. We need pay-per-view for those big fights, but pay-per-view has got too expensive. That's the biggest problem. So we're looking at keeping them really keen. £10 in the UK, around £10, $15. That smashes below what happens mainly in the US. And the reason why we can do that is the reach of YouTube. I think, you know, we've been involved in helping advertise some of the biggest fights over the last few years. And I think if those fights had a broader reach, more people would have bought. those pay-per-views, and made them cheaper. So I think we're looking at selling more pay-per-views if you lower the price and you make it more accessible.
Okay. The other piece you were alluding to there regarding the creator aspect of fight sports, and like you say, our audience absolutely have their opinions on Jake Paul and what he's doing in the ring and what he's doing outside of the ring and what have you. But you're looking at trying to develop people's profiles from an athletic point of view. So the people that you're working with and putting on your shows are going to be boxers first, people that have come through some type of pedigree, and then you're looking to grow their profiles through content creation. Is that right?
100%. And I think working alongside YouTube and their team, that's the vision. Bring the boxers in first.
Right.
These guys are great boxers, high-end boxers. I'm not talking,
Yeah, because that would people who have asked me today, are they going to be like going down a Misfits route? Are they going to be going down a you know what I mean? People like Jake Paul, are they going to be doing that? But you're saying that you're actually working with boxers, people, like you said, with pedigree, and now you're taking them into the world of content creation.
And let me jump in there, Ed. The obviously you want to break the records in San Francisco on July the 11th. You want to get more than 135,000. You've got the support of the San Franciscan mayor. It's going to be a huge event in North California. I did speak to you yesterday from an airport when I was on my way home, and I kind of, even though you tiptoed around it, when you talked about the size and resonance of where you were headed towards, I said, oh, that sounds perfect then for Alexander Usyk and Deontay Wilder. Is that the kind of scale of names and fighters that you're talking about with these giant events?
Absolutely. We're a boxing first organization. If you're going to be looking to bring this large amount of people together, you've got to bring the best boxers to play. And I think that's the reality. So yes, that's the scale, that's the type of level we're looking at.
Okay, and who's on your wish list then? Because we've been talking about what Zuffa Boxing are doing, how they've got Jaya Pattaya now. Can I ask who's on your wish list then if you were creating a couple of events?
It's really interesting because that's one of the questions everybody's been asking me. My wish list, because I'm a fan first and have always been a fan first, is to go right to the top. Seeing Tyson Fury come out of retirement, that would be an amazing boxer to have on our card. That's the level we're looking at. And that's where we really get excited, because that's where we can bring some big stars and make them even bigger, and that's the idea. Bring them more to the casual fans. You're never going to break the world record with 150,000 fight fans, pure fight fans. You're going to have to bring in the casual fans. Yeah. So for that, you need the biggest names, you need the biggest performers, and you need the guys with the biggest, attitude to the game,
So just on sorry, Gareth,
go ahead, Adam.
Because for people that are unaware of the second part of this, we've just been speaking about the YouTube elements of this. You're planning a show on July the 11th in San Francisco to break the world record. The current world record stems back all the way to 1941, 135,000 people in attendance for a fight there. You're looking to try and do 150,000 bums on seats to watch boxing. And one of my questions was going to be, what would be the headline for that? Because that would then hopefully be the attraction to bring people out, and you're already alluding to that. How far down the line are you with conversations of those types of fighters being involved in something like this? Are you speaking to their management, their promotions? Because I would imagine that you're going to have to work together with everybody, bring everybody together in order to put something like this on.
Correct. I think primarily my focus was very much on, as you can imagine, working with the city of San Francisco and the mayor to get the permits. It took a long time. I've been working on this for about 6-7 months. So really glad that we got the support of the mayor and the whole team there to do this. But at the same time as doing that and the YouTube deal, we have been talking to promoters. One of the key things we want to say is we don't want to be promoter. We're not coming out to be promoters. We're big event organizers. We want to work with all the promoters. We want to be kind of an open house. We want to welcome. We'll pay good money or fair money for good fights. And we have been talking to quite a few promoters over the last 3 or 4 months, getting this ready. So things have been bubbling.
So it's great you've got the support of Daniel Lurie, the mayor of San Francisco. If I'm thinking about how you get 140,000 people at an event, forgive me for saying this, I'm thinking that's Jake Paul versus KSI. That's Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. That's Alexander Usyk against, I don't know, maybe, I don't know who would generate that. But you are looking at Terence Crawford coming back maybe against someone to get those kind of numbers against a massive name. Those numbers at an event have to be made from something extraordinary. What we got 70,000 for Conor Benn and Chris Eubank last year a couple of times because of the resonance and the generational grudge match between their fathers. So to me, the matchmaking, the promoting of it is one thing, and you're very, very, very capable of doing that. We know that because you've been involved in promoting events for so long. The matchmaking to me is key in that.
You're absolutely right, Gareth. That is the biggest challenge. Can I fill stadiums? Can I create unique events? Can I build stadiums where nobody else has built stadiums before? Absolutely, 100%. It's in the matchmaking. That's my biggest challenge. That's going to be the challenge over the next few weeks as we put together these cards.
Another question. I asked you a question on price point before regarding the YouTube price point. What would be the price point for a ticket? Because my experiences recently, especially over in America with boxing, is that quite a lot of the audience are disengaged with it. And I think it comes down to everything that you've just been speaking about a moment or two ago, that they're unaware of how good the sport is and some of the talent that's out there because maybe they're behind several paywalls. So, one, you've kind of ticked the box there with YouTube of getting this message out to the masses, but then the price point to actually come to the event, to do 150,000 tickets to come and watch these boxers, is also going to be important. Where are you at with that?
You're absolutely right. I think the US market is not, at the moment, unfortunately, in boxing terms, not as developed as the UK market. We're lucky in the UK, the promoters are firing on all cylinders, the boxers are achieving great things. In the US, the disconnect, and particularly in the kind of that broadcast field, you guys were talking earlier about Zuffa, they've got a Paramount deal. They're the only ones, the only promoter. Obviously now for us, we're not a promoter, but we're going to be bringing a lot of boxing events and on YouTube. When it comes to the price points, and it's something that I was working with the mayor, with Daniel Lurie about. I said to Dan, I think what we need to talk about here is it needs to become kind of a festival for the city. It's got to be about the fan first. All of my philosophies around fans. So if you say to the fans of San Francisco, listen, we want you to turn out, it's for the fans, you then got to give something to the fans. And the key thing that we want to do, and I know I say it all the time and it sounds a bit like weird, but I really do mean it. We want to bring boxing back to the people. We believe that there is a disconnect. You guys are absolutely right. There is a disconnect between the American fans and boxing, but we can bring that together. And the way we're going to do that is a large proportion of those tickets, because it's such a huge site, are going to be free. So that's going to raise the kind of the anticipation. That's going to raise the excitement, and that's going to get people that might not ever have access to ever go and watch a boxing, card, an event. It's going to give them access. I think one of the biggest things that we're talking about is boxing with the high pay-per-views, with the high ticket prices, is kind of been a little bit navel-gazing. We've got some great boxers and nobody knows them. They could be walking down the street here in San Francisco. Nobody know them. And it's such a shame because these guys are showmen. These guys are great athletes. So let's get more people watching them. Let's get more people engaging with them. As we grow the market, as we get eyeballs, the sport will grow, the business will grow, and I think boxing will re-engage with the US market. And it doesn't need, people to come in and change the rules. And it doesn't need different size rings. And it doesn't need different changes of things. It just needs to engage with the market and say, we're here, come and watch a fight.
Listen, you've got my attention with everything you just said there. How do you then fund the purses for the fighters then if you're letting people in for nothing?
Well, listen, we're not letting everybody in for nothing.
No, but a percentage of.
Yeah, I think, if we're looking numbers-wise, we're going to have a really good stadium size that we'll be paying, So I think we're really happy with that. Second of all, one of the key things that and people ask me why I've got into the game. I think that the reality is this. I think boxing, and you can see that the public wants to engage with boxing. When we were talking to YouTube, combat sports is their biggest growth market. That's why they're getting into the game. They're getting into the game because they've seen it and they want a piece of it. They want a piece of it, and Netflix has got it. If you look at Netflix, forget the Jake Paul, look at Canelo Crawford. What was it, 40-odd million?
43 million, yeah.
43. That's not boxing dying in the States. That's just a lack of events that if we got 43 million here in the UK watching a fight, would be over the moon. Do you know what I mean? So, sorry, I'm not in the UK, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I think the point is this. Once you engage that audience and you bring it, what you're doing is you're kind of going back, and this is, I truly believe this. Do you remember football before the Premier League?
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember. Premier League came in, Sky came in, changed the face of football. What happened then, we started to see an influx of big sponsors that were putting big money, the McDonald's of the world, the Nikes of this world. These guys, if you look at the sponsors in boxing right at the moment, they're not that level. And, you know, they're doing, the promoters are doing a great job of selling sponsorship, but you're not talking FIFA level, you're not talking Premier League level, you're not talking about Barclays. And the reason is because the Barclays, the FIFAs of this world, the visas of this world, they want to see eyeballs and they want to see structure. And what we're bringing to them, what we're bringing to the sponsors is exactly that. What we're bringing to the mayors, the cities of the US and the UK is an opportunity to engage with that audience, to get eyeballs and to give something back to the people. And when you do that, then the corporates come behind that as well. So you're essentially looking at three key pillars of revenue. You're looking at the YouTube revenue, you're looking at whatever revenue that is, and it's a mix of different revenues, whether it's pay-per-view, whether it's advertising, whether it's money that they're giving as part of the partnership. The second kind of pillar of revenue is the ticket sales. That, listen, if someone was telling me that movie, if you build it, they will come. Yeah, I think people are going to want to buy tickets for this event. That's what's really exciting. So if you have X amount of tickets,
but it will all come down, Ed. It will all come down to who's fighting and who's on the card. At the end of the day, it's who it comes down to, what the storyline is, what the narrative is, and do we want to see those guys fight on a Saturday night if the 11th is a Saturday night of July?
You smashed it. You're absolutely right. And that is the biggest challenge we've got.
So when are you going to announce that then? How long have you got to announce that?
Well, we've got another, on the 12th of February, we're going to announce another event before that one. So we're not going straight into that one. We're going to announce another one, and you guys are going to see the level of the cards that we're working with. So 12th of February, we're really excited. Now that we've got everything, all the pieces together, now it's about the big challenge, getting the biggest cards together for the biggest events.
I'm right in thinking there's multiple events here, isn't there?
12 a year.
Is it 12 that you're looking at for the Iconic series? Is that what it's labelled as?
Absolutely. And some of them will be pay-per-view, some of them will be free. And I think that's really important. You know, for us, it's about saying, look, it's not just about giving free tickets away or whatever. It's about getting that broader eyeball. So the bigger ones will be pay-per-view. That's the only model really that works. But you're going to get, you know, kind of some free ones out there as well.
I mean, I'm speaking for me. I may be able to speak for Adam here as well. I really admire your energy and your optimism and your chutzpah that you have for this, Ed. It's going to be fascinating to watch, to see it wind up and unwind and come out. It's fascinating to know.
I think every fan listening to this and watching this back maybe over the weekend, they want you to win.
Exactly. We want you to win.
They want this to happen. So best of luck, man. I love it. I love the energy. I love the noise about it. Every question that I've asked you, there's an answer for it. Let's rock and roll, baby. Let's make some fights.
We will do our very best. And as I always say, whatever, you know, listen, if I explode in a million pieces, I still tried. At the end of the day, I'm a fan. And I'm with all the other fans. I want to do the best. And listen, boxing is amazing sport. And I hear sometimes some interviews and some people on podcasts saying, you know, boxing is dead. Don't believe it. I feel it. I talk to people on the street. Yesterday was just incredible. And it gives you enough energy. And thanks for all your support, guys. I really mean it. And I think we can do something amazing with the sport and just open up to more people, give it to the fans back. Let the fans make those calls.
Fantastic.
Ed, thank you so much for your time. I know you've been busy with all the questions. Thank you very much. Take care.
Cheers.
There you go. Ed Pereira there, the CEO of IVB.
Vision.
I Visit Boxing.
Vision.
Serious vision.
Yeah. And also, we didn't say it in while we were chatting to him. He's the guy that got the 41 licenses that they needed. I don't know if you know this. Got the 41 licenses for the Times Square event that Turki Al Sheikh put on, and he's worked very closely with Turki Al Sheikh and Seller over the last couple of years. He's
an events man. He puts events.
He's an events guy. He knows what he's doing. He's a huge boxing fan, and he's. I don't know if he's seen a gap in the market, but if he genuinely has been able to harness YouTube with its 2.7 billion users a month, wow.
We're off to San Francisco, looks like. What a show. Hopefully you've enjoyed everything that we've...
You're bigging yourself up.
It's been a good show tonight. It's been a good show.
A B minus.
What I will say is that the show is only as good as the guests that join.
That's very well put.
And the guests have been absolutely fantastic. Right, we're going to finish on this, right? Boxing, what are your hopes for 2026?
How long have I got?
3 minutes.
Okay, I'll have a minute and a half and you can have a minute and a half.
Go on,
okay, my hopes are that we see all the big heavyweights fights we've been talking about tonight. Fabio Wardley against the likes of Ajit Kabayel. I hope we see Moses Itauma emerge. I hope we see Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury fight this year. I'm glad that Tyson Fury is back. I want to see Shaka Stevenson win on the 31st of January and rise to the top of the pound-for-pound list. I want to see Naoya Inoue fight 3 times this year against Bam Rodriguez, Nick Ball, and Junto Nakatani. I want boxers to come out of the year healthy and sane and wise. And I just think it's going to be an amazing year.
Getting deep, man. Getting deep. Two things regarding locations and then one regarding sanctioning. Right. First thing. I love the way that the year has started for British fight fans. We are the lifeblood. The people that are buying the tickets, going to the shows, supporting these fighters. I want to see a better regularity when it comes to British based fight nights, not just based in London, up and down the country. Let's go up and down the country and let's get these fantastic fighters in front of as many faces as we possibly can, not just necessarily at the top level, but also on the smaller halls. I want to see English, British, European title level fights all taking place here on British soil. For me personally, I want to see a return to big-time boxing in America. Me and you have travelled the world doing this sport, right? And there is nothing better than being in Las Vegas for the Heavyweight Championship of the World or in Madison Square Garden.
Or Los Angeles.
All these great places that we have been blessed to do over the last 10 years or what have you here on talkSPORT. I want to return to that. And I know that, listen, Riyadh and Saudi Arabia is fantastic and the stadium fights here in the UK are absolutely fantastic, but there's nothing quite like the American big shows. When America's thriving in boxing, boxing is thriving. It's the #1 premier sport on the planet. And I hope that happens this year. I think we might have an opportunity with TKO, Zuffa, and what we've just been speaking about with our man there at IVB. And my final thing is that I know that this isn't going to happen, but I just want meritocracy to rule. If you've earned it, you should get it. So
I don't think that'll ever happen. Adam.
So the likes of the Ajit Kabayels of this world gets his shot at the Heavyweight Championship of the World that he has absolutely earned.
I think it's too complex for it to be.
I know that. I'm just telling you what my hopes are, mate.
I understand that and I support that, but I think the layers and the nuance in boxing has made it so complex that, and I think TKO and Zuffa boxing will only add to that level of nuance and complexity. But all those sentiments are fantastic.
Fingers crossed there. Fingers crossed. Listen, thank you very much for coming to join us. We've got a big week this week. Obviously, everything that's going on in Las Vegas with Zuffa launching and what have you. And we've also got some big fights on the way in February live on talkSPORT. Thanks for joining us.